There is the Ready for Washed Up, just in time for the hype train to roll in on the chat here. So keep those subs coming in as we are heading into Tomb of the Spider Queen for game number 1 of our best of 5 grand finals. Washed Up versus The Last Dance.
Yeah, let's get the party started. Grand final finally coming up here. Third tournament week in the same final once again. Here we are, washed up against Last Dance, ladies and gentlemen. Tomb of the Spider Queen. It's a best of 5. It is week 3 of Method Mayhem, and we have our first map between the two teams here. First tournament, washed up takes it with a 3-0. Tournament number 2, same grand final. Last Dance wins it with a 3-1, and now we have the third time that these two teams clash up against each other. And it's going to be quite a bit of fun here. Very dominant performance from both teams. Neither dropped the map here. We followed mainly washed up so far, and they had a very fantastic semifinal. Very crisp, very clean. But of course, going up against Last Dance as a very different beast. Should be a fun one.
It should be indeed, with Tassadar and Junkrat so far banned out. Two of the biggest wave clear heroes. Really trying to deny that. We're going to stick with some bursts, though. We remove the Greymane, taking that out of action here. So it's very assassin-focused. Supports and tanks have all been let through. Keep the train coming, everybody. Choo-choo, up to 90% of level 3 already. You guys are crushing it.
Yeah, and off we go. So with that, we have the last ban coming in for this one, and it's Ana. Nice. Ana gets banned out, interestingly enough, not against Banana Age, but instead we have the Ana ban against Business Boys, and Wooby with the immediate lock-in on URL. She has been climbing through the ranks, has taken priority, and is now even in a first pick position, which is kind of insane if you think about it, because that's something that so far we haven't really seen a whole lot. Usually she was more so of a second pick coming in, but in a first pick spot, that's actually a pretty impressive setup here.
Absolutely. URL coming in early, as does Cassia. And that is so interesting, seeing the roll-in of sorta picked, sorta banned to first pick value for Nick here, coming in for this Cassia. And now we see for the Last Dance, they already have the URL. Johanna's been taken away from them. Tank-wise, there's still a couple of very good options, including, looking at Breeze here, potentially, the Imperious return.
Yeah, could definitely happen, but honestly, here against Johanna, it's a little bit of a different gameplay there. We have Poik on Jaina, we got ETC in play, but for Masquerade, of course, it's good wave clear that he starts things up with already, so that's pretty neat for him. But yeah, this game is going to set the pace for the rest of the series, but I already like what we're seeing here from both teams. I love that Wooby is back on the URL. Poik on the Mage is also always fun, but I feel that with Nick on Cassia and Johanna as a great meta pick for this map, we are having a really, really solid setup for the teams now. With Malfurion banned against Celia. No Twilight Dream shenanigans over here. We can still expect Rhaegar to be picked by Washed Up, of course, unless he's banned out now.
Yeah, and I think that would be a solid ban here. I'm sure Last Dance would like it, but we've already seen how deadly Bloodlust Cassia could be. But no, Deckard Cain coming in here. Risky ban. We'll see if it works. So far, we have, to be fair, seen some absolutely money sleeps coming in from Deckard Cain throughout the day, so it's a standard ban out. We will get back into the draft in just a moment, everybody, as we did have a slight technical issue, but we'll be back in a moment.
Yeah, I love that those technical issues are always waiting for the grand final to start.
Of course. It's very polite of them to give us the rest of the day mostly clear.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, while we're here, we're up to 60% on the hype train. And again, if you subscribe during that, for starters, hype trains are cool. For second, you're contributing to the prize pool, trying to get Method to that matching amount. So thank you, everyone, for what they've done so far. And if you're enjoying Method Mayhem, maybe consider telling Method how much you like it, because if they hear a lot about it, maybe they'll do it again. And that's what I'm sure we would all like. So if you hit !socials, or follow Method on Twitter @Method, then you can just message them, send them a message, tell them how much you've been enjoying the show, how much you appreciate what they're doing for Heroes of the Storm. They want to hear from you on Instagram, which is also in the !socials, about what you enjoy, and you can also use these links to find out more about Method Mayhem as it goes through, including the monthly finals next week as the draft returns.
Yeah, but I think Ruby is AFK now, so we'll see how far that draft goes.
We'll find
So
out.
that's going to be the bigger question. Not 100% certain if this is going to go the way that they expect. I don't know how long Ruby needs. But yeah, we have the draft back, and I think they're going to go just for the redraft. But in case that Ruby is actually really AFK right now and not immediately coming back, I would assume that they are letting every single pick run out just by a little bit of time. So it could take a few.
Yeah, we will see. Well, if they've got 12 seconds for Wobby to return. Otherwise, we may have to.
No, you don't get it. Like they are gonna redraft the same thing, but yeah, Booby is captain. Forget it. You're
Yes,
right.
yes, he is. Unfortunately, and he is not here.
Yep.
Well, I'm sure they know what the bans were, so in theory, we can just let that ride, and they can just remember.
I suppose. I suppose we can wait for the bans. Yes, and let that come through, but it's still a little bit weird.
It'll be fine. Everything is fine. We're up to 80% of Type Train 5. I don't think I've ever seen it go that high.
Last week at the final, this week, it's,
Yeah. Well, they didn't actually run out the clock all the way, so I'm hoping that means Wobby's back.
Nope.
What?
Yes, okay.
Oh, there he is. All right, Wobby's returned, and they're just going to remember what that ban was.
Yeah. What was that ban, actually? Was that Anna?
No, that was... Because Washed Up banned Anna, so yeah, that was Junkrat.
Ah, true. Yeah, there's the Anna banner. All right. Okay, so we're gonna have that in a second, and I mean, at this point, we can actually just jump back in. I assume.
I believe so. They're catching up. We're just going to be running through back to exactly where we were. You can already hear the Urel going in, most likely. What was the last hero we got up to? I'm trying to remember.
I mean, we had the Malfurion ban, and then I believe the last one.
Okay.
I mean, we can show it, no?
I believe so.
I'm confused. There we go. All right, so that brings us back to where we were previously. Malfurion gets banned out, and there's the ban on the old. Exactly, Deckard Cain was the last one. Yeah, there's Rhaegar as expected, and Quasar together with it on Rexa, which could easily be Hazu depending on the last pick.
Can make sense. I mean, it's Hazu, so it could be anything. So it's always fun to see that. All right, they could play the hammer here. It's not the best map for it, but could absolutely be snuck in here.
All right, the bird for Chris. Classic. And Zelia on Stukov.
Alrighty, apparently I made a mistake earlier on when the method of guarantee the amount for the prize pool, which is what I did say earlier, when your guys' subscription amounts reach 2,350 as well, all subscription revenue will go to the prize pool. That is it. My mistake.
Yeah, after the 2,300 are reached through subs.
Yes.
And again, if you
my
want to the prize
apologies.
pool directly, you can go to the Match Arena website, guys.
Yes, that is my mistake. That is my apologies. Alrighty, Rexa and Zarya is the final pickup here. Very tanky frontline coming in here.
Yeah, that's a pretty nasty one, honestly. They really believe in that Cassia setup right now. Okay. Yeah, but again, that sets us up, and Chris again on his false start. So that's already kind of neat. Yeah, I mean, again, he plays it on pretty much every map right now if they get it.
Yeah.
It hasn't really changed.
The fact is, it's not a great hit. It's not a great map for Falstad rotations. Obviously, it's very small, but that also means Falstad's always within fly range, basically. So he's always within gank range, which is a little scary. Yeah. And it's a good way to get back to lane if you want to just port back, heal up, rejoin up with the rest of your team. So it's cool to see. And, well, Gus is a really good counter to Bloodlust.
It will be kind of interesting to see that heavy melee setup, especially with the Zarya in play. Zarya and Johanna, you get the speed bubble on Jojo, can rush in even faster. So
oh, that's terrifying, honestly. Being able to run in with that. I would assume if this is a Bloodlust composition, we may end up seeing Feel the Heat on Zarya for level 1 as well, which is massive damage. So already excited to see that. I'm excited. We're going to be heading into the game very shortly here. Last Dance, they have a really solid wombo combo, but there are quite a few interrupts for Moshpit on the side of Washed Up. Not as many as we've seen in previous games, but still good.
Yeah. And I think we're jumping into the game, guys. So, game number 1 coming up now in our grand final. Final series of the day. Washed up coming up here once again. And here we are. Game number 1 in the best of 5. Little bit of a problem during the draft, but outside of that, it seems like everybody is ready and good to go here as we are entering the best of 5 series. Tomb of the Spider Queen is kicking us off with Washed Up going up against Last Dance. Yeah, the team over here in red was successful against Quadnik's team against the Swedish Mafia a little bit earlier, and Washed Up, of course, able to take in the semi-final Lauber's team down, as we now have the two teams once more for the third time in a row, actually, facing off against each other in the grand final. And the first victim is Misha. Peter has been informed. Don't worry. And off we go.
This is bear hunting season as they take out Misha early on. She got a good stun onto Breeze to shut down any hard engage onto anyone else as Wubby dived quite deep, but everyone else was able to back away. Misha's already respawned. It's not so bad in the early game, and I do stand corrected. No feel the heat. We're going with maximum charge to increase the damage output that way.
Yeah, maximum charge in. Chris, as usual, on his bird, and with the auto attack damage that he wants to bring in, we have a massive front line for Washed Up. And it is just super powerful. You have Misha, Rexa, you have Zarya in the mix here. A lot of damage hopes are obviously now in the hands of Nick on his Cassia. This should be a really good opening. The first time that the two teams met in the grand final, we had a 3-0 victory for Washed Up against Last Dance, but then the week after, it was quite the opposite. Last Dance coming in and able to claim victory in the best of 5, only dropping a single map, so this is the third time that the teams meet. And it's also the last time before the monthly final, where we have them go up against each other. Should be a fun series for sure. Who takes it this time? Is Washed Up able to really put a dent into that defense again? Because it just seemed that Last Dance was getting better and better week after week.
Breeze soaking mid lane for the moment. Gonna face meld his way out. Like you say, Last Dance getting better week after week, and in this case, playing a little bit aggressive. We do have a very quick pause, so we'll be back into the game very shortly. But you can see on the minimap quickly, the Burstory camp was taken in the bot lane, and Zadia and Poik have already started on the right-hand side.
Yeah, it gives us also a little bit of a chance to talk about a few of the things. So one thing that we can already highlight is when it comes to the talents, as I already mentioned, we got the Seasoned Marksman on level 1. So that's 6 stacks already. We've seen this now more and more being utilized here. Also, in addition to that, we currently have the Block Party for ETC, which is kind of interesting because oftentimes on the map, you will still see teams go into the Globe talent instead, trying to go through the Proc Rock and collect it as quickly as you can. Whereas in this case, with the auto attack on the other side, especially Cassia, but also to an extent other heroes like Rhaegar, even Misha, you want to just play around the Block Party a little bit more. We have, in addition to that, also with the Stukov setup now, the reactive ballista spores. And Stukov in general is just kind of interesting here, because the interesting part is that we had actually bans on Ana and on Malfurion, and with Stukov, they now have a power slide into the Silence, plus the CC from Jaina, and later on the Virulent Infection. So there's a lot of CC that Xayah can give the team as well when they have level 13 in. And it's good lockdown against any kind of target here, so it can be quite dangerous if played correct.
They try to charge down Wubby, but he's too fast and will back his way out here. No speed barrier coming in here. Zarya go for a little bit more supporting style with Give Me 20. That 20-second cooldown, that 2-second cooldown on his ally's shield if he's able to get those 20 regen globes. So we'll keep an eye on that as we go. And speaking of armor, you already mentioned the Block Party, which is on single auto attacks. We're going to be seeing biotic armor, even more armor to stack on top from the Stukov.
Yeah, and especially with the Globe Talent, I mean, this is one of the best maps, of course, if you try to finish Globe Talent, simply because the lanes are so close together that you can easily rotate between the two and just pick them up with a 4-man. Yeah, and teams will look for exactly that. Wave clears, of course, absolutely crucial right now. The control over the turn-in points. This is also, we have the interrupt potential. Nice engage! And Masquerade might be the first victim in this game. He goes down. Very well done. Initiated by Wubby as he finds the angle. They slow the targets down with Poik. Gems were recovered, of course, but that's a good kill for Last Dance as they take first blood on map number 1.
As he was able to pick up the gems, like you said, he was able to rotate back up to top lane and keep farming. And that was mostly due to the fact that he was being zoned quite out, but Quasy was able to unleash the Mish and was able to keep him out of danger with the stun. As right now, they've got a good choke point here. You can see that lurking arm shuts down Cassia. And the last dance, snowballing kill after kill. They're looking for Misha for one more kill. Unable to chase him down. The jukes coming out from Misha. Able to avoid getting picked off there.
Yeah, and that's already tons of pressure that we're seeing from them here. Level 7 talents, therefore also slightly faster thanks to the extra experience that he just got. Got the hammer on, got the boomerang. And Breeze is together with Whoopi again looking for kill opportunities. He himself, a bit low on mana, will eventually have to head back and tap it off. But that's a really good start. Chris tries to turn in, gets interrupted though, that's important. He has 21, so you want to shut him down for as long as possible.
Breeze checking out, facing up here so that he can try and zone anyone out. We have even more interrupt potential coming in from Zarya here with the pinpoint accuracy. A little bit of slows, a little bit of interrupt potential to be incredibly annoying as Breeze is forced back by Nick, who was being healed up by that healing totem of Banana H. As right now, it's a slow game until the last dance group up, and when they group up and find someone, they seem to get the kill automatically. But right now, outside of that, not a huge amount is happening outside of everyone farming up these gems.
Yeah, the Space Goat already jumping out here, quickly gone. But here comes another potential play. Ooh, they go for Misha! And that's just unbearable. Misha going down here. I mean, that one was a bit uncalled for. So, yeah, it's just continuous bear abuse that we're seeing.
Oh, dear, don't think I missed that unbearable.
It's an unbearable situation that we have me. But then again, bear with me here for a second. If Rexa pays attention, then he should always be able to save Misha here. It's not impossible to move her back in a spot like this.
What do you call it if Breeze was riding on the crab mount? Surf and turf. Breeze gonna mount back up here. He's on the goat, unfortunately, so the joke is ruined. As Chris is gonna be backing up here. Just playing safe, doesn't want to get caught out as they're gonna try and get Nick. That ally shield is good, but nice knockback into the blizzard. That will guarantee him the kill.
Doesn't he? I mean, they have 3 kills to 0 now, and they have a level lead with level 10. It becomes a bit of a beatdown at this point. I mean, they are picking. It seems like they can just pick those kill ups whenever they want one.
Yeah, the second they find someone, they just get the kill. It's working out very well for them, and as such, they hit level 10 with a full level lead here. Gust and Water Elemental picked up. So far, no pickups for anyone else. I'd be very surprised if we see the alternative Urel ult, but everyone else has some variation.
Yeah, also, for now, Water Elemental as usual, but the turning comes in. Granted, they will have level 10. I'm a little bit scared. I gotta be honest with you. I'm slightly scared here because Last Dance has played an incredibly crisp game up to this point. Now, this is of course still a game where once you hit level 10 and heroics come in, a lot of the synergies unlock and then you can bring that back. But I'm a little bit terrified because Last Dance have played an incredibly smooth game so far and are already getting a lot of value out of the web weavers. The wall at the bottom is broken and they will be able to take a lot of the hit points on the fort itself down.
Yeah, they do a good job forcing Nick to back up here. Take a little bit of damage from that Dark Wave from the Web Weaver. And like you say, this fort is gonna drop. But in the meantime, the counter soak in multiple lanes from Washed Up is trying to hold them into this game. They're looking for Wubby here, but it's Wubby. He's out.
Honestly, this is way more damage than you should be able to do with the first one. If they win the fight now, that would be great. If not, then they're in trouble. And there's a Gust to counter the Bloodlust. Chris immediately reacting. The Bird against Rhaegar, always a solid choice. But just look at this map. Fort eliminated at the bottom of the map. Even the keep wall has taken damage. The middle of the map, we have the fort down to 50% HP. They go for another potential kill. It seems like Masquerade is at least able to escape this time. But you should be able to do this much damage with just your first Web Weaver wave. So it is getting super nasty here. This is going to get more than a little bit difficult to recover from. They need some kills and need them soon.
Breeze flees, does not get himself picked off here, has to burn the power slide for it, but he's still held on to his mosh pit. And we'll have that available. Expulsion Zone, though, already back off cooldown from being used in the last engage, so he has that for the mosh interrupt if it is required. As Felstad going to fly down to bot lane to steal the camp.
Now, the good thing is that they have still 109 gems in their possession, so they have enough for multiple turn-ins. That's the ticket back into it. If they would lose those, that's a lights-out move. So, yeah, you gotta make sure that you're not losing out on any of that. Masquerade with 35, Hazo is 33, blast shield, point, and he gets out. Oh my god, that Valkyrie just not connecting properly to lock him in. Job well done here by Last Dance. And now they go for Banana Age.
Gust was used to try and separate Banana Rage from the rest of the team shield ally. Here comes the one-man mosh pit. Cleanse doesn't get him to the edge here as Nick is in trouble. Here come the balls, though. And Chris has suddenly found himself in a lot of trouble, but down goes Misha. Breeze power slides away, and somehow, someway, Misha is the only one to die.
Also, Chris now, thanks to a lot of these kills also against Misha, is sitting at 35 stacks at 9 minutes. He is just stacking like a madman. I mean, obviously the map helps him too, since he can rotate between the lanes, but he will quickly have that activated available. And now with the level 13 talent advantage and the viral reaction that I pointed out earlier for Stukov, they're rotating topside to go for the boss, and this is rough.
Yeah,
They need to put a dent into this defense. This is going to get worse and worse and worse as the game continues.
So they have it. They deliver Johanna into the boss pit. Blizzard is good. Bless shield for the escape. The power slide as the item skin expires. Here comes the Valkyrie, but it's Yorel. That's not going to work as she just backs away. Misha comes in to say hello. Gets a shield ally because otherwise, yeah, Misha would die here.
No.
The blue web weavers were turned in though.
Misha just recovered gems. Misha was just able to get gems for Rexa. He's at 77. That was actually really important. Rexa has 77 gems now, and the blue team at least got the web weavers committed, so now they have a bit of a defense against that boss. So at least that worked, because if not for that, the situation would even be worse than it is, and it's already bad enough. 5-0 kills now.
I forgot Misha could do that. Absolutely crazy. Nicely done by Dayquaza. Wubby will back away as these web weavers have succeeded in tickling some minions, because right now bot lane is the only lane really under pressure. Top, they are bringing all 5 people up here for this half health web weaver. See if they can make a play with it. Jaina's coming up here for the counter push. Chris has already cleaned this out. He also has 39 gems available.
Yeah, and he has 40 stacks. He's done with his quest, so he completed before the 11-minute mark. Here's the Valkyrie. Slappity slap from Zelia, and Breeze gets out. Whoopi jumps away, totally unfazed by all of this, has the Divine Steed, moves away too, and yeah, Washed Up is desperately trying to put a dent into the structural defense topside. They take the wall down, but it stops there, and Whoopi is already attempting to chase them down here.
Misha getting burst, good stun onto Whoopi here, but he will back up and tank through as Nick does some good damage with that Surge of Life, forcing Breeze to back away here. And these Valkyries, dude, they've been so close, but all they've really done is tickle Poix back here. Haven't been able to pick up a full kill with it, or even a really solid Valkyrie on anyone that isn't Wubby yet. Dayquaza is turning in 82 gems. Could anyone stop him? Yes, they burned Gust for it.
They burn the Gust. They really want to take him down, but the quest is now also completed on level 4, so that gives him some extra armor. Same time, though. Falstad and 46. Every single kill against Misha counts for them, and they have level 16 talents, which is the main reason they were trying, or they were willing to sacrifice the Gust. Red Web Weavers coming down now. They turn in again. Here comes the attempt to unleash the boars and lock them in place for a potential fight, but they can't really take this. That's Web Weavers plus a 16 talent advantage, and Falstad just keeps stacking.
Misha tanking very effectively, shield ally. Hasselhoff's even jumps in front of President Misha to take the hit there. As we see the web weavers coming in, this mid fort is as good as gone, and I don't think top fort is much longer for this world either.
This is rough.
Ooh,
Misha is about to be taken down again. That's more stacks for Chris, and things are just spiraling slowly out of control here. Whoopi in the middle. They have to ban Urel out against him, I feel, as this continues. She is so high priority these days again, and Whoopi on that hero is just absolutely bonkers. Bot lane gets demolished, top side is taking damage, Rexa's trying to defend here. With 13 minutes in, and they are looking at a 2-level advantage and already knocking some hit points off the keeps.
Everyone backs away. They still have like 70 gems, so this is another turn-in available for the last dance. 84 gems available, 123 for Washed Up. And what seems like a mile between them and that turning point as they continuously get delayed and denied.
Yeah, also Masquerade went for a Blessed Shield, was actually trying to bounce it off and couldn't secure that either. So that was a little bit weird here. It was a Blessed Shield that he actually used on the minion, so I think he was actually trying to bounce it off a catapult, and that didn't work for him. So it bounced just back immediately, and that was a bit unfortunate. It was a bit of a YOLO move there too. I don't really think what he thought he could accomplish there. But now the fight in the middle, of course, is happening without the Blessed Shield. He has another 8 seconds until it's back.
Dayquaza finally got his turn, and he very nearly made a terrible mistake there. While microing Misha, he made his way up to the turning point, but didn't actually start turning in for a good 5 seconds there. But he did finally get his gems out, 40 off of his 89 gems, as finally Blue Team Washed Up to get their turn in. But they might not be able to use it because they might perish, as we see Cassia taken out, and Misha will gust. They get Banana Rage. That's good. Bless you for the turnaround there. Can Banana Rage get out of here? No. Great power slide by Breeze, so that's another kill.
Yeah, that's a kill right there. Rega down. 56 stacks now. 4 falls dead. They go straight in for the keep. They just ignore the Web Weavers. They're just diving behind them and they're like, yeah, screw it, whatever. They take Misha down too. Chris is sitting at 57 stacks. Can you imagine this going to... Like, just imagine a comeback attempt here. If you get a comeback from Washed Up, it would prolong the game until like the 25-minute mark or something. They need to go through all these structures first. And 30-minute games on this map are not really unheard of. He's at 50 minutes in. He's already at an insane amount of extra auto attack damage. If this game goes into a late game scenario, he's going to have easily 80 extra damage or more on auto attacks, making the life of every frontliner even worse. It's just incredible right now. They're in such a bad spot. Washed Up has to risk something, and they're trying to YOLO boss just because they know they have to do something here.
This is honestly probably the best play they could do right now. Like you say, they've got to do something. They have enough gems for a turn, and they have Expulsion Zone. This is really the only place they can afford to take a fight here. Here comes Wobby. Knocks in Hasu, who's able to tank it for now. Here's the Bloodlust. They've tried to force a fight on their terms. Is it going to work out in their favor? As Breeze is going to get zoned away here. Boss focusing down. Rhaegar's just going to try and rush us. In comes Wobby to try and steal. He's stunned out by Misha. He's being dropped very low here. In the meantime, Point is getting out with almost no health as Hasu is killed off. Boss did go over to Washed Up, but they did lose Hasu. They get the boss in exchange for a kill.
How the hell did Poik survive that? He ice blocked it, and it still looked like he would die 100%, but he sneaks his way out, gets the damage in, and they drop Zarya instead. Insane play by them again. They didn't lose a single hero yet. Yes, Washed Up gets the boss, but again, they needed to YOLO it up there. It's the only fight before level 20 they could possibly get. Now the turning comes through for Last Dance, and with a 2-level lead, they have Storm Talons for such a long time that we should see quite a bit of value for Last Dance now. Their goal has to be to take more keeps down. They already eliminated 1, but with a 2-level lead, with a Storm Talon advantage and Web Weavers, the goal is take those keeps, and in an ideal world, try and get some kills and go for core.
And you can see here the Last Dance trying to hunt, trying to find any of the members of Washed Up. Washed Up, though, they're hanging around. They do scout out there with the geometry from Nick. Able to keep everyone alive, able to keep that vision up as they continue to blast away. In comes Urel, multi-man stun. There's the mosh pit. Where's the interrupt? They do get the interrupt, but in comes the Valkyrie, but Expulsion forces him back. And ETC has to use one of the storm to try to survive, but he doesn't. Cassia picks up the kill, even with the wind tunnel coming out.
Yeah, that's a bit of an issue, but they still have a 4 versus 5 with the 20, so they have a chance here where Weavers at the bottom have to be dealt with eventually because they're going to go for the core here. At the same time, the middle gets pressured, where Weaver is nearly getting eliminated. Rexar sitting topside, and the shields are falling. Washed Up needs to fall back and deal with it, but also deal with the top side where the keep is starting to take some serious damage.
Okay, bot lane's cleared. Top lane, Rexar able to deal with it. They hold together. They're still in this counter. Washed Up refuse to give up without a fight, and that kill in ETC is comeback experience, and they're going to use that to hit level 20 of their own. If they can do this, if they can pick a really solid team fight with multiple kills, top lane 4 is down. It is conceptually feasible that Washed Up are able to win a team fight and win this game. However, bot lane is going to prove to be a bigger and bigger problem as time goes on. As we see Washed Up try to move in, they're going to try and take something early while ATC is still dead.
They got a lot of gems though, and they will have a double turn in possibly. They nearly have enough for a second turn in already, and through this push now, they will pick up the gems that they need for another turn in just after the web weavers are dissipating. So there is a chance for them to have the double turn in ready. But of course, also the top keep is in a bit of trouble too. If at any point Last Dance pushes in or gets another web weaver wave, then this one is going to fall as well. But right now, there's a chance. You have 20 versus 20 talents, so it is possible. Whoopi comes in. Can Washed Up push this out, take a few structures down, and maybe even get kills to start a snowball of their own?
Blessed Shield, Valkyrie with the silence, but the Gust shuts it down. Chris with the reaction play. That was an upgraded Valkyrie that silences at level 20 the imprisoning light. The silence in the root. It's an insane talent. As Bloodlust, it's Hail Mary. It's all or nothing for Washed Up as they chase him down. Looking for Breeze who bolts away. It's all on Wubby, but Ardent Defender shuts it down.
Jumps out, no problem for him just yet. A lot of ults were used in that last fight. Moshpit is still up, they could go for it. ETC is already sliding in. Misha is down once again, and the web weaver is nearly eliminated topside. At bottom of the map, on the other hand, the fort is going down, but Washed Up, they just don't find the opening. They're looking for it the entire time in an attempt to get some momentum, to get the kill, but they can't quite pull it off.
They have nothing left. 10 seconds until their next heroic. Bobby tries to get Masquerade, not able to get it. Mounts up, will back up.
They don't have enough gems yet. They need another 8, the blue team. Enough gems for sure in the hands for Last Dance, though. They could make the plays here. Blessed Shield, again, bouncing off, but ETC also sliding away, so he's outside of the range. Trying to slow them down here, chasing them slowly. Can they turn it?
Misha's gonna die.
74 stacks for Chris. Chris is gonna... Oh, yeah, he was thinking about it.
Controlled chaos from Zalia, holding it together. Chris turns in 13. Expulsion zone. They tried to get Breeze with the Valkyrie, but they don't get it. And this is Washed Up. But consistent aggression. Looking for the kill. There's a cleansing shield onto Nick as he backs away. Breeze looks for the angle, but he's being zoned about by Hasu here. They're in a choke point. Bloodlust back off cooldown. One last chance here as down goes Johanna. The frontliner is taken out. They're looking for Wubby, but controlled chaos shuts down the counter. The gems are isolated, and Washed Up are back to square zero.
Zalia again with the perfect silence here too, and they push Jojo in, and there was just no chance. They're going for another kill. They're trying to go for Nick this time. Nick already moving back here, surviving for now. Still the fight over the turn-in point, but the red team is now all of a sudden in a position where they can just fall back towards the top and turn in there, and that's exactly what we're seeing from them. Slowly but steadily. 10 kills to 1. 21 minutes in. And Washed Up is fighting for a chance to somehow win this game. But the boss is open. Turn-ins are available. There's too many bases to cover now.
This is risky. This might be a throw pit. Boss is forced to be leashed because the move came in from Washed Up. Their hand is forced. Misha is dead as Nick tries to kite Wubby out, but they cancel the boss and the turn-in. Washed Up with this hyper aggression they are playing with, are doing everything in their power to keep themselves in this game. Boss restarted here, being rushed down to half health. Johanna is back, but miles away. They have Expulsion Zone. One last chance for Washed Up. Expulsion Zone comes out, but the boss is already taken. They look for Wubby, trying to solo him down, but he is too tanky.
Yeah, it's just way too much at this point. They're already starting to move in. Blessed Shield, they're trying to go for the kill, and they get it! They get the kill on Jaina, and they're looking for number 2. Zalia is rushing away. He also goes down. Keep topside is obviously going to fall, but they still need to defend the core.
Even with a 2 for 0, the turn-in happens, the boss happens, the keep will go down, and if this boss is uncontested, the core could go down as well. Masquerade mounts up. You can see they're just going to try and base race this. They have the boss, they have web weavers, they have a lot of damage for this core, and they will have Gust in 16 seconds, Mosh Pit available, but the zoning from Washed Up forces them out, prevents this Hail Mary play for at least a couple seconds longer.
Yeah, but the keeps are now down. If they can take the keep in the middle, it would be fantastic. But again, 5 versus 3. They're taking whatever they can here. They have their ults back up. The wind tunnel is ready. Can they play around it, though? 83 stacks now for Falstad. These auto attacks, they do hurt. He's at 58,000 damage. 104,000 for Jaina, 94k for Cassia. That's what the damage numbers are currently happening here. But yeah, it is getting absolutely insane. And, well, the Web Weavers, they get defended against. They are not risking anything. They're falling back. They're just saying, all right, boys, let's just play it out like this, buy the time that we need through the Web Weavers, and then play it with the 5-man stack here and go for the next team fight.
Washed Up are relentless. They just refuse to die. This is game number 1. This feels like a series-ending game, but we're not even started here as we hit a 24-minute game on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Take that, person who said in my Storm League game that Tomb was not a late-game map. Johanna is focused down. Masquerade backs away. Huge damage. And Valkyrie burned to catch anyone on the chase as, once again, Rexar drops a nice route to prevent anyone else from following.
What kind of monkey would say that Tomb is not a late game game? This is one of the maps that has the longest games on average. Like, I've seen 35, 40-minute games on this one. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, look at it. I talked about it earlier, and we're 25 minutes in. Washed Up made it happen.
Let me tell you the TLDR of the story. I'm playing the Zebo, stack it up, and then 3 of the minions I'm trying to farm for stacks at level 4 turn blue. My Sylvanas picked Possession to troll me and gave me a very colourful language that I picked a late game hero on an early game map. There you go, there's the TLDR as we see the lanes being cleared.
Especially when you want to stack minions.
Yes!
Gotta love game knowledge.
Game knowledge and purposeful trolling. The pure spite. We won the game, but God, I've never been trolled that much. Here comes Seraphim. Interrupt from Wubby. Good damage. Look at how much damage Chris does to Masquerade.
Alright. Well, here we go. And that's another Misha. No, it's not another Misha kill. Bless Shield comes out. ETC in trouble. And again, blinks out. The wind tunnel is there too. This is so clutch. Any kill at this point could seriously decide the game in your favor or against you, especially with the gems available for Washed Up. Both teams have such a good stand here. The problem is these 2 keeps that are down on Washed Up side. If time is working in Last Dance's favor. There's the Bloodlust.
They want Wubby. They want him so bad, but he's Wubby. He's Urel. He mounts. He's on the run, but they've kind of isolated him here. Misha going to try and get him. He jumps on Defender, and he's out. In the meantime, 3 catapults in bot lane. They've got to make something happen here, or they've got to leave, because if not, this core is going to die to minions.
Yeah, the core, minions are going to win this. Nobody's going back. Minions are going to win this. We're 26 minutes in. If those catapults connect with the core, they haven't connected with the core. They are attacking the wave still. They actually have even more time. Oh my god, this is so lucky for them. Half a second later, now that the catapults are on the core, they're going to wreck the shield. Look at the shield fall here. This could already have been game, but at this point, all that Last Dance has to do is buy time. Buy time and play it out.
Wubby! Wubby stays alive, core going down, catapults burning through the shield, and you see the race. Chris channeling is in a quack mix. He goes for it with the false stand. He's forced back, zoned away, catapults down, but in the meantime, Cassie is killed, and Zarya is in serious danger. What's Wubby doing here? He mounts up, he's in full retreat here, and Chris has been caught out, and finally Hasu's gonna go down.
Yeah, and Wubby is also about to fall. The core is down to 20%, and Breeze is on it with the rest of the team. This, ladies and gentlemen, is game. We have a victory as Last Dance takes the 1-0 against Washed Up.
Well, that was chaos of the best kind.
True.
That was absolutely mental. Incredible play coming in there from both teams. Washed Up, purely relentless defense. And in the end, it comes down to catapults. They tried to retreat, but they got split up on the retreat. The nice rotation from Falstad, forcing everyone to split up. And the second, the massive group up that Washed Up was playing and using to keep themselves in this game was separated, Last Dance were able to start picking them off one by one and get the better position. Beautifully played. Very well done by the Last Dance. It is well deserved game number 1.
All right, let's have it. Dragonshire, our second map, of course, in the series. So, yeah, let's go and see if we are getting some unorthodox picks. I don't really expect it, but I'm curious about the top lane in particular. Okay, off we go. Dragonshire, map number 2. The lead goes to Last Dance. Pretty dominant early in mid-game that we saw from Last Dance on the first map. Now we have Dragonshire, and it was actually the map choice of Last Dance. For me, as I said, I really want to see what happens around the top lane right now. First of all, of course, the question, do you prioritize Urel high enough that you ban her out against Wooby? That's one question. I mean, the first thing that they do is they actually ban Falset, since Chris is pretty much locking that in whenever he can. First of all, as a counter to Bloodlust, but also generally to give them a global on the map and even more. And the question about top lane picks has already halfway at least been answered. So Urel gets banned out. What with Rexa, though? Rexa was the king of Dragonshire for the longest time, ever since he popped up in the meta at the beginning of 2019. So are we going to see him here? Ban or pick? What's happening?
About to find out. With Washed Up being first pick, how far do you prioritize it? Because the fact is, if you do ban Rexar, Anna's going through. And Banana H would love that Anna. Which way do Last Dance want to take this? The very sensible ban onto Urel, even though Wobby, I'm sure, would like to play it. He knows how deadly it is. He maybe knows how deadly it is better than anyone else. As we do see the Rexar banned out, is Banana H going to pick up that Anna, or do they prioritize something else, like maybe that Cassia again?
I kind of feel a little bit sad, though. I would have loved to see a battle between Urel and Rexar top lane. So not both of them get banned now is a bit of a sad panda moment here for me. But of course, as you said, it opens up other picks that we normally would have seen banned out here. And now with the first pick potential, let's see what we get for Washed Up. We get Junkrat. And oh, by the way, with Forza banned out, depending on how much they value globals, outside of a potential Deathwing pick, we could still also see that the Haka top side, which is something that Whoopi has played in these tournaments already. So that's another opportunity for him to maybe get a global going and then make that move towards the bottom of the map to help out there with a quick tong and a drag.
Very smart. Very smart. Let's see what the counter is for the Last Dance. Perhaps we might see the return of the Foster to try and match that rotation potential. For now, though, they start with a very aggressive front line with Johanna and Imperius.
Yeah, and the last time that I've seen them start this with this particular combo, I mean, Imperius in the hands of Whoopi or Breeze was always crazy, but when we've seen them with this, it felt like they were taking candy away from a toddler. So that front line is brutal to say the least, especially in the hands of these players. But we get a bit of chaos introduced into all of this. First of all, we had Lucio, but we have the Panda time. All right, it's Chen for the Quasar up at the top.
All right, no Anna, as Lucio has picked it. Also, chat catching up and letting me know that, in fact, Falstad was banned. My mistake. As we do see that Chen for the top lane. Chen is one of the tankiest frontliners, but is he going to be able to tank Imperius? Especially Wobby's Imperius, especially once they have to fight on that objective. There goes that ATC, which would have been a little bit harder to deal with.
Yeah, he also has a bit of a drinking problem, or so I heard.
It's grape juice, Caldor. Or tea, maybe? It's a brew?
It depends heavily on who plays it. We already established it. If it's a German panda, then it's clearly beer. If it's a French panda, it's wine. The Americans have whiskey in it, and if it's a Russian panda, it's vodka. So you get the idea.
Yeah, and of course the British panda is tea. As we see the Tracer band out.
Fair enough.
Very
you
sensible.
Want the tea, you can have the tea. I don't think anybody is arguing with you there.
All right, Tracer removed. Very sensible ban out here. Don't want to give that over to Poik. Now we need supports. We need damage. What do we see from the Last Dance? They could, of course, leave their support till last, but I wouldn't hate to see them pick up a support and the damage here to give themselves a little bit more flexibility.
Yeah. Well, there's Karazim.
Ooh.
All right, Karazim for Azalea, and we get a Poik's Reina.
Now, this is interesting. This is a commitment from the Last Dance to go for a very aggressive style of engagement here. Karazim, it sort of fell off because he doesn't have as much healing output as a lot of some of the other healers, but he is fantastic, almost unrivaled outside of maybe Rhaegar, as a follow-up to engages to kill someone with Iron Fists here. And as such, he is going to be following up on these Imperius engages. Here's the follow-up for Washed Up to try and counteract this, though. Kira back for one more time. Can they keep that 100% win rate? And Muradin as their main tank here, someone beefy enough to hopefully tank through this hard engage.
Yeah, Muradin comes in, and, well, let's go. I mean, right now, I'm just interested to see what the last pick is going to be, because that Karazim Reina was not quite what I expected on their end. But what are we getting for Chris? Last pick for Dragonshire, our second map in the best of 5 grand final, and it is Mayhem. All right.
Ooh.
different setup that evolved there after the initial 2 picks, but I kind of like it. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to head into our second map in just a bit. Dragonshire between Washed Up and Last Dance. And yeah, let's see if Washed Up can bring it back here. Or if Last Dance establishes a 2-0 lead with that setup that they just got for themselves.
There's a lot of crowd control on both of these teams' side. Kira, so far, Nick has been leaning very heavily on that stun. That's the heroic. So with some good AoE could set up for that Riptire very effectively. But they're going to have to play around that Mayhem. As we already said, that Warden's Cage set up into huge Imperious damage could be very deadly. Or maybe we're going to see the containment disc into 7-sided isolation style of play. I doubt it. I think we're much more likely to see the Warden's Cage, but the potential is there.
The problem if you try to go for that particular style is simply that there is too much of a wait time. It's like that you can't time that properly. In order to, you allow the opponent to actually move in, you know? There's a little bit of a window that you have.
You don't have the cocoon opportunity to make sure you already have one person removed by the time you do it.
Yeah.
Either way, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be heading into game number 2. It's the best of 5 series. Can Washed Up even up the score, or will the Last Dance move themselves to match point? Let's find out, as we are arriving on Dragonshire.
Dragonshire, the second map in this grand final, and the lead, as already mentioned, goes to the red team. Last Dance with the 1-0 here in our best of 5, and well, off we go. Aggressive lineup for sure. What we have now for the red team with that Mayhem coming in late, also Karazim, of course. Seems like Azalea wants a piece of the action as well. See, even on level 1, still the Exterminator, which has been nerfed in this patch quite a bit. And on the other side, again, the Eye of the Tiger. One of the most Eye of the Panda, yes, Eye of the Tiger, I don't get it. That's
fair enough. Can understand it. Oh my god, tether into spear as Wobby looks for the kill into Banana Rage, but ends up being first blood himself as Banana Rage runs him down. And that was a very solid turnaround from Washed Up, achieving first blood here. Another talent I want to talk about here is Dwarf Block from Muradin. 4 charges of block for auto attacks here. Going to help a lot against Reyna and Karazim.
Yeah. It's actually a pretty cool and aggressive talent they can go for, but yeah. I'm a little bit interested in some of the talent setups here, but every single time I look about the talent name, Eye of the Tiger, it's just like, if you want to go full survivor here, then yeah, I kind of get it a little bit, but still, I want to have the Eye of the Panda or something. You know, you could at least put a bit of a twist to the reference that would make it just more interesting, I think.
I definitely understand. I definitely understand where you're coming from, but I think it's just because tigers are a significantly more intimidating animal than a panda. So they're just sticking with, like you said, the survivor options. If anything, it just adds to the thrill of the fight.
Yeah.
Helps you rise up to meet the challenge of your rivals.
I like what you did there, but again, put a twist to the reference at least. I don't know. It's, it's like it's a panda. It's a panda.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, that is completely fair. Definitely agrees. We do see Chris clearing this out.
All right.
To be fair, if people weren't allowed to have talent names for what they would, then Reyna's talent tree would be very weird. Or he would be a pepper. As Dayquaza are going to be charged by Wobby. And we'll see these two trading back and forth for a while as Nick is killed off, making the kill count 1-1.
I mean, they're following up on those Kira setups quite like, didn't they actually also play Kira against Last Dance last week and lost that one too because the follow-ups were just so fantastic for Last Dance that they chased it down every single time they could? So
I don't think so, because the Kira was on 100% win rate in the stats page, so unless I didn't update that.
Yeah, I mean, either that or they just like took that then towards the end, but I feel I remember that he had some problems with Kira against them as well. They might have won the game in the end, but it's not going to be a super easy setup for him with all the follow-up that there is and all the lockdown that we have. But I mean, either way, so far it's a 1-for-1. We have similar experience. Junkrat is, of course, still poking this out a bit, but they're all just trying to go for the control on those shrines again. Yeah, Stormbolt is already missing one single stack, by the way. It's the single connect that we saw so far from Masquerade, so isn't off to a good start when it comes to the baseline stacking.
Well, he has time, at least. Plenty of time to get that stacked up here. Otherwise, talent-wise, he's sticking pretty normally here, going with that Thunderburn, going to help him out with the healing static later on. As Wubby will reclaim top lane, and see you later, Junkrat bot lane. Also completely under control, which is going to allow a rotation here to try and give some space for Breeze to maybe try and channel.
Yeah, they got really, really good objective control here. It's honestly impressive to see. And the Panda at the top is also starting to feel the pressure from Wooby's Imperius. Level 7 talent is in, and that's half a level of elite. So that's actually a significant window this early in the game. That's another nice advantage that they're running right now, and the Quasi is experiencing that. He's about to go down. Lucio is also dead, and the Dragonite has been channeled as well. They Quasi in trouble. Whoopi gets the kill, and that's 4 kills to 1. Level 7. Masquerade is gonna fall, and once more, Last Dance is dancing around the opponent and just dropping them wherever they find them.
Last Dance? What happened between this week and next week? Because suddenly they're popping off even harder than before as they pick up another 2 kills, bringing it 1 to 5, and the Dragonite zoning away for Johanna. They're actually just going to pull everyone else back to base because they're low and they have the time now. In the meantime, Johanna, Breeze, just keeps pushing in. He's already taken down the front wall. That's about as much as he needs. But he's still going to set up and weaken that that fort in the fountain.
I think if these guys continue at the pace that they currently do, they have definitely a chance to go pro in this game and a bright future ahead of
them. Well played. Well played. All right, Breeze gonna make his way down. These young rookies, Breeze, Chris, Zalia, Wubby, and Poik.
I think we need like a little bit of a league or like some professional setup for the Heroes gaming community.
We could call it the Method Global Championship.
Yeah, maybe a cool acronym or something like that.
Yeah, MGC perhaps.
Yeah, I think there's really something. I see a bright future ahead of these young and talented spirits that we have in this game, with the improvement that we're seeing here from week after week.
I completely agree. Zalia will make his way up to the rest of his team.
What could go wrong?
Dive on the Hassle Orbs. There's the concussion mine. I don't know. Well, Beth could pull funding for it. I could go wrong and just cancel it with almost no warning to the players.
Okay, so 10 to 9. They have full control. This is ridiculous. 5 minutes in, they got full control of the game already. That on the other hand, Woody doesn't care. You don't. Yeah, he cares very much now.
He cares.
Nice. Okay, what did we learn? Whoopi is killable. You can actually kill Whoopi.
We learned that, but there's the counter kill. Karazim going super deep. He's 7-sided. He is able to use that to get out of danger there. Zalia gets the counter kill. Nicely done there.
2 kills to 6. So with level 10 on the other side now, there's at least some players that can. I mean, there. Yeah, that's 1. Can they get 2?
Run!
Zalia, run, Forest, run! No.
No minions to dash to. Minion wave was miles away. No way out. He's going to get picked off here. His team wasn't in range. And that's going to be some good counter kills coming in for Washed Up, keeping themselves back in this. Masquerade says hello, gets blessed, shielded, and deadified. Avatar for one attempt to escape, and he gets out. But here comes the fantastic stun from Nick. But he's out of mana as well, and it's a big counter attempt. They'll get Wubby, but everyone else is easily out of there.
Last Dance is getting a bit too cocky right now. I mean, you can literally tell it from the game, from the plays that they're making. They're getting slightly overconfident here. And they have every reason to, considering how the early game went. But now they are at 5 kills against 6. It's still even experience between the two. And of course, they're leading in structures. But that's a lot of super aggressive plays that they would not make in a normal situation. So they're having some fun here. And they're playing this a bit too confident maybe for now. But you gotta be careful because that can backfire. And we're only in game number 1. They have a 1-0 lead. It's not like we're looking at 2-0 here or anything.
Washed Up and making the most of the fact that Wubby, despite being Wubby, is a solo laner. And weirdly enough, and this is a sentence I never thought I'd say, they're farming Wubby. He is 3 out of the 5 kills they've been able to acquire so far because they've been able to rotate up there as a team and pick him off.
I think I already identified the problem. He doesn't write the money pick in this one, and he opted in for a different mount, and that just doesn't work. You know, you look at Zalia, you look at Poik, they know exactly how to play this, but Whoopi without the pick is just, it's not the same thing. Something's missing.
Rayquaza tanks through. Will the Ox easily able to survive. Masquerade finds many friends. Seven-sided, he's saved by Nick. He's able to step in as well. Here comes the beautiful sound barrier and the storm of fire. Here comes the Riptide to chase him down, but it's already a disengage. They're going to try and get to Breeze to stop him escaping here, but a speed boost from Zalia with the Quicksilver gets him out.
Yeah, and Masquerade jumps in, but he has too much in his way. There's the Vault of the Wardens as they're trying to come back once again. Well, they could actually try and fight for this one, but with the control of Junkrat and the mine on the ground, they don't really risk it. Zalia is immediately moving in together with Chris and his Exterminator. They'll simply take the camp down. 13 talents on both sides now. But of course, the fight for the next objective is going to get a lot more intense in just a moment, especially with Junkrat now rotating topside, trying to get the control of the Shrine bot lane. We see a similar thing happening now for Last Dance. Both teams are definitely looking towards Dragon Knight number 2 now.
Seeing the trade onto Altars, bot captured by the Last Dance, and top taken by Junkrat from Washed Up. Nicely done. So they equal that out for now. Both teams just rotating, grabbing mercenaries, looking for their opportunity to strike. The XP is about to be evened up level-wise as Breeze just try and sidestep Masquerade. Successfully does so. Denies stacks. Again, Muradin not doing the best stack-wise at the moment. He's up to 16 though, so he's definitely improved from what he was.
He's definitely connecting quite a few more. Like, once he's done with this, having the PS available and the cooldown reduction is just fantastic. And it's honestly a game changer for the hero. So you can get so much value out of a team here. But we still have the teams dancing around the top lane a little bit, because now there's the camp pushing in for Whoopi, and that could really help him to control this. Rayquaza is trying to hold that, but there's a lot that he has to pressure out. That's why Junkrat is already moving in to help him out there, because alone wouldn't really stand a chance there. But that allows bot lane control to be taken.
Yeah, but bot lane can taken. Wobby begins to duel Rayquaza. We've already seen Wobby can win this 1v1 very easily, but he can't win the 2v1 as Hasselhoff's going to rotate in with that Ripper Air and will cause a bit of a disruption to the 1v1 ecosystem.
Top laner still taking some damage to that forward. Down here on the other hand, the cage is down. There's the sound barrier's immediate follow-up, and they're trying to make the play for Poik, who jumps out of the Vault of the Wardens, and he barely gets out of this one. Nick coming through with the ult and trying to get more damage onto Breeze, but it's not enough to secure a kill. Thanks to the experience lead in the rotations, we now have still a lead and a gap between the two, which means that an early level 16 for Last Dance is more or less inevitable.
Poik saved his life there and potentially his team. The team fight as the revolving swing came in from Kira, and he vaulted the Warden's Dit to get out of danger and avoid that stun. Otherwise, he could have been the casualty in that fight. But because of that, the Unrelenting Strikes is going to came in and only hit Johanna, who's able to tank through as another brawl happens in the middle lane. Neither team able to get a full hard engage yet, though.
Yeah, still Storm Bolts, 18 stacks now. Couldn't connect the last one here either. Breeze is coming in, they're trying to turn it. Blessed Shield up in another 3, is going to have it soon. They're going for Masquerade even without it, and they have no problem dropping the Dwarf here.
There it is.
There's the Blessed Shield, and goodbye, Nick.
Rayquaza's the next target. He's got his Oxford, going to try and keep it going. Banana Rage kicks off, but Chen is not so lucky. He dies to his own E as we see bot lane about to be recaptured. You can see Hasselhoff's racing top lane to try and buy time and recapture that point to swing himself over, while the rest of the team has to delay that Dragon Knight. Is he going to make it? He does, by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, but clutch. If not for the mobility here, he would have had no chance. Hazu jumping out. But of course, the result is going to be the same. Unless some... Oh, they actually go for him now. He's in a bit of trouble for just a second, but is able to jump out a bit further since Karazim was attempting to hunt him down. But that's only a small delay. It helps to bring Chen back on the map, though. And Banana Age comes in and commits Sudoku.
Or does he, though? He doesn't.
Wow.
He's out. Banana Rage, well, he delayed the inevitable.
Oh, Alien! You see, I saw that coming.
I have never seen a more value use of seven-sided strike for the single kick for a last hit. Oh my god, they're going to race it and take the fort.
Beautiful. Beautiful kill. Ford in the middle is down, and with both of the camps that they have already pushing the bot lane, they should have an easy time breaking through the wall and maybe even taking the keep itself. What a setup again, and what turned into... I mean, it was actually a nice thought here from Lucio to try and interrupt, but it was just too risky, and he gets punished for it, and they lose the keep as a result.
They take that down. 4 Siege Giants are about to be cleaned out. They can't make their way to core. And you can see Wobby making his way back. Masquerade has gone very deep. There's the stun. Kira coming in from the side. She's about to be quite isolated. Revolving swing. Dragon Knight chases her down, but the team doesn't follow her. She just gets 7-sided strike and blow up.
Yeah, Karazim just going absolutely murder mode here. He's having a ton of fun, and they're continuing with the Pandas. They're trying to get even a little bit more. Dude, if they get another kill, they might even go for core itself. We're not quite there yet, but there's a lot that they can still do. Taking, first of all, the fountain down in the middle. That's already a good step. Now they have to rotate topside to deal with this wave that is pushing their forward, but they are dominant again. Honestly, they led with 6 kills to 1. Then they decided to have a bit of fun, lost 4 heroes, it was 6-5 kills, and they were like, yeah, alright, let's just step it up a bit, and since then they haven't lost a single hero.
Yeah, they're just absolutely dominating now. They got close a couple times. Not in that last engage by Nick, though, unfortunately, that was unsuccessful. Although, I have never seen the Dragon Knight charge chase a revolving swing hero before. That's a unique experience for me. As we do see, the 4 is saved by Wobby, and they're just going to go ahead and grab mercenaries until they have 20.
Yeah, it's half a level. Just all that you need, and then you have a 2-level lead where you can play around Storm Talons, and that should definitely help you to grab at least one more Dragon Knight, if not just simply a move for structures without even using the objective.
Stun onto Johanna. Capture Mine shutdown. Iron Skin. Masquerade just going to jump away. Doesn't want to take any more risks. Nick, Bless Shield, Riptire. They look for it, and Lucio is detonated. Nick might not be lucky enough to survive either. Focus down, easy stun, and they get another double, and Chen is definitely not getting out.
Kira down, Chen down, Lucio down. I mean, every single time we see these fights happening, it's just one 7-sided value move after another, with Chris following up on the kills with the auto attacks. And of course, Mayhem herself with the top damage for the team is sitting at 36,000 right now. And they go for core. I mean, these guys are just absolutely crushing it here right now. This is incredible. We have Last Dance taking the 2-0, as it seems, quite easily against their opponent. Nicely done. 50% on the core. And yeah, it's just another day in the office. Last Dance comes in, they take the 2-0, and they take the victory against Washed Up, the 2-0 lead in the best of 5.
This is the most dominant we have ever seen the Last Dance. They are looking absolutely insane. This almost feels like a different team to the first 2 cups. They've shown moments of incredible play before, but this is something else. And if they can carry that through to the monthly finals, then I don't know who can stand against them. Washed Up now have to perform the reverse sweep to make their way into their second victory in Method Mayhem. And wow, if Last Dance play like that, I'm not seeing that looking too positive on the cards.
Okay, draft on, ladies. Let's go. Battlefield of Eternity is our next map here. Yeah, and it's game number 3. The lead for Last Dance is just a little bit too much for... Yeah, it seems like it's a little bit too much for Washed Up to handle. You need to start a reverse sweep somehow, and Battlefield of Eternity with all the team fighting could be the map where they can possibly pull it off. Li Ming gets banned out immediately, but let's be honest here. Up to this point, hasn't really been all that great for Washed Up. They've been pretty much played to the wall, and can they come back? That's the big question. We're going to find out, but from the draft alone, they need something that can really pack a punch here. Maybe you go for one of those aggressive lineups that they love to play with Nick just carrying hard. Would be it. Put the backpack on. Get a little bit of that leg training in. But yeah, let's find out.
Alrighty. Let's find out indeed. Second ban coming in for Washed Up. Where are we going here? They're going to ban out that ETC. Yeah, don't blame them. It's been terrifying from what Breeze has played this entire week. And last week and the week before, quite frankly. The Johanna, though, equally as scary, and we already know we can play Imperius, Diablo, just Freeze is really good. And the situation is they're just going to ban out what they believe to be the biggest threat with the best turnaround potential, and that will be ETC here.
Honestly, that Johanna would really terrify me. I'm terrified of that Imperius at this point already. They play him just so well, and it doesn't really matter if it's a main tank or an offlaner. So I would probably try and lock that one out as quickly as possible. But Grammy gets banned, Li Ming is out, so at least 2... Yeah, well, there it is. Quasar immediately says, like, yep, this time we'll take him, thank you.
Very sensible. It is incredibly powerful, so seeing that as a potential as a strong pickup for them where they can try and get that snowball kills for themselves. I like it a lot by Washed Up. So now, how do Last Dance react? I think this should be a Johanna pickup in one of their first two, even though it's not one of the best race heroes. It's one of those few heroes who can maybe survive the engagement periods. They don't for now. They start out with Anna, stealing that away from Banana Rage, and they bring in the Rainer.
Last time that Zelia played Anna on this map, it was just absolutely crazy because they had a Liming combo together with it, and he just used the heal dart. Like, it was the map or the game where they really felt like he can look into the future by just like half a second or something. The amount of shots that he hit where he just predicted where the target would move in the next second were insane. And now we have Nick again on his Cassia. Backfired a little bit in game number 1, but we get Rhaegar together with it. So it's a pretty powerful setup. You get the Bloodlust setup with Cassia again. You have Imperius already at the front. But the reaction of Last Dance is what will be interesting here.
Yeah, this is scary, a really scary lineup. More importantly, because we don't have Deckard or Stukov this game anymore, because Anna was picked up so early by the Last Dance that they don't have those go-to counters, or the face melt of ETC, for example. They don't have these tools that they usually use to get away from that Bloodlust chase style. So they now got to pick up something else. They got to rely on their tanks to do it, or maybe their offlane to do it, and that is harder. One of those options, though, and you mentioned it earlier, Entomb from the Auric can block off these chases. Gust would have been another fantastic option. That's banned out, and they're just removing all the options that can allow Last Dance to escape.
Yeah, I mean, there are still a few available. I mean, even just like, go for Medivh and a ley line would work.
That'd be a great idea.
They are setting this up. But the Gust, they just want to get rid of Falstad. It's too impactful right now. Every single time you try to Bloodlust up, it just gusts away. And also he has the global then in addition to that. So it's a bit too much for them. Instead, we get Blaze plus Garrosh. So still a terrifying setup with Chris just waiting it out and able to pick then on the last slot, can react also a bit to what we're now going to see from Washed Up here as the final 2 picks from their perspective.
I like this from Last Dance. They picked 2 heroes who are going to be able to hopefully tank the hard engage from Imperius, and will be able to absorb quite a few hits from a Bloodlust composition, and more importantly, have turnaround potential. Multi-man stun from Blaze, massive taunt from Garrosh, isolate anyone who's left over. They now have the tools needed. But that's crazy. Medivh coming in here on the other side, stolen away by Hasselhoffs, and they bring out the Deathwing to make up the damage and the tank numbers, which means this is going to be a hyper carry Cassia with Deathwing. If he's able to get the right angles, probably getting very high up there in the damage too.
I didn't really expect that they would go for Medivh here. If anything, I would have expected it on the other side. But yeah, let's go. So we got the Deathwing, we got the Medivh, and Thrall for Chris. All right. So the triple frontline for them. Poik playing Reyna. And that's game number 3. Again, guys, this is a best of 5 series. If Last Dance takes it, it's a victory for them in the 3rd tournament. Washed Up, they have the chance here to put a point onto the board and start a bit of a reverse sweep up. Let's jump on the battlefield of eternity and find out if Washed Up can do it or if Last Dance locks in another victory.
This should be good. Can the Last Dance, like you say, get their final victory and move their way to 2-1 in tournament finals? Or are they going to be run over by this potentially Bloodlust composition? Because now I'm not so sure. As much as Bloodlust Cassie is good, Bloodlust Medivh is less so. And Bloodlust, of course, does not affect Deathwing.
How
so
cool
there's an
would
interesting
that be?
scenario. Bloodlust Deathwing? It would be terrifying, and that's why it's not a thing. It would be devastating.
I thought it would be cool.
Okay, so wait, all right. Which
Totally
ability
broken,
would
but cool.
be the most broken if it could affect Deathwing outside of Nano Boost?
Probably no.
Yeah, but they're fair
Didn't we
enough.
have it already?
Have what,
I mean,
sorry?
Nano Boost would be the most people, yeah. Bloodlust would pretty much be high up there right now in its current form.
I can see that. Fair enough. That makes the most sense to me. I think another good one would be Accelerando. Not Accelerando, Rejuvenecia. The percentage healing from Lucio. That would be pretty decent if that could work on Deathwing.
Yeah, but not as cool.
Yeah.
So
or Medivac. Maximum backdoor troll potential.
Can you imagine entering the Medivac after Deathwing did? I mean, that just smells. Tell me whatever you want, but that's just like not a good thing.
Oh dear. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're heading into the game. from the smell of that terrible idea. We're into game number 3. It is Battlefield of Eternity, potentially the last map of the day. On the left-hand side, looking for the reverse sweep, washed up. And on the right-hand side, looking to close out this series and make their and secure another victory in Method Mayhem. It is the last dance.
Yeah, let's get the show on the road here. Game number 3 and potentially even the last map in this one. Last Dance versus Washed Up, and it is prime time, party time. Reverse sweep starting now or the tournament ends. It's all in the hands of Washed Up, and they got the composition to really pull this one off. It's a bit of a terrifying setup. Honestly, if you look at it on the minimap, it looks a little bit weird, right? Despite the fact that we have now seen so many Imperials as a main tank position and Deathwing also, of course, on these side lanes, it just feels a bit like something's missing over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks a little bit like an NA setup, if we're honest. But this is still terrifying with all that we've seen in the last few tournaments, and especially the Medivh factor from Hazu is going to be more than a bit interesting. I love that we have the Trash Lightning right now. I like it. So Poik is actually in a position where he is part of the 4-man, and instead of going for the Trolling Thunder, we get Trash Lightning instead.
The problem with that is he's not getting any stacks. And this isn't due to lack of skill on his part, it's because right now, Masquerade was just chilling in mid lane. And just the middle of the map and just denying him any kind of stacks. Finally, he's going to make his way down. Rhaegar's just hanging out. They're just trying to deny him stack options here while still clearing the lane.
I mean, they have actually committed to the setup before he even picked the talent for the 2-3, but yes, it is going to make it much more difficult for him to stack. I honestly don't know if this is really the best setup for Crash Lightning anyways.
Yeah.
It's great that you're in the 4-man. The problem is you have a Medivh against you, which is likely going to fly around quite a bit anyways, and he's not going to get a lot of stacks together anytime soon. Now, during the fights, that could be a different setup, but it's not going to be as easy as you normally want it to be here. Good flip, but Breeze is in trouble.
He gets dropped so low. Takes a lot of shots from that tower. Finally, he's going to get his armor plates back. The stun from Masquerade prevents him from getting the Groundbreaker, which might have secured the kill onto Nick there. But they are able to survive. No one able to pick up the kill. And finally, Thrall has stacks. Up to 2 stacks of Crash Lightning.
Yeah. And more importantly, 16 stacks for Medivh.
Damn.
Yeah, Medivh beasting it quite a bit here. I mean, that's a really good start for Hazorbs. Kudos. That's pretty sexy. 2 minutes in, 16 stacks. Not bad, my friend. So, the question is, of course, can he keep all of them? Because if he dies, that would be a bit of an issue. But yeah, right now he's doing a fantastic job on it for sure.
It's not an easy come to just not die against Evo with Garrosh with that unrivaled strength. Really looking for an opportunity to try and pick someone off here. For now, he's playing it very slow, stacking up when he can, not putting himself in danger. It's a very sensible style here.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I mean. It's like, it's a setup right now where you have to be super careful with how you play, because just one good flip and all of a sudden you are in trouble, right? So Medivh needs to make sure that he stacks this also quickly. Once that you're heading into, let's say, level 10 abilities, you are even more so in trouble if you don't pay attention, because there's just too much kill potential through a taunt alone.
Seeing the Immortals being burned down. It's pretty close here, but a 700 health lead in favor right now of Washed Up, able to hold it together.
Yeah, and again, everybody's just trying to go for the position here with the potential lockdown through Imperius. The portal is already in as they're trying to go for Chris, and he survives. Nicely done here. Good penetrating round. Ana coming in, helping him out too. And that saves the day, at least for now, but still, they are getting attacked on the Immortal, and they are not in a position where they can fight back with these.
Chris is living in the Matrix, playing on minus 20 ping right now, because he just dodged 5 people's worth of engage just by sidestepping. Absolutely crazy here as the race finishes up, and it is still going to be Washed Up taking that lead, but only barely. That is a basically non-existent Shield Immortal.
Yeah, but still got the hit point pool, of course. I mean, double quest also for Thrall, so he's sitting on 3 stacks for the Frostwolf pack. We have him on 4 only for the Crash Lightning. It's very, very unlikely that he's going to get good value out of the talent throughout this game. So this could be a really... I mean, this is honestly a great opportunity for Washed Up to bring a point onto the board and force another game out of this.
Poik making his way up, looking for stacks. Minion's going to be shutting him down for the moment. He's currently up to 4 stacks of Crash Lightning, 24 for Hasselwobbs, who's been playing this very nicely and very safely right now as Dayquaza finds friends. Not going to go too deep here, and Poik just finishes his Frostwall pack there. Nicely done.
Yeah, and stacks is level 1 a little bit more too, so that's pretty neat actually. Now, Immortal is of course easily defeated. That wasn't really a big problem for them. It was, as we already pointed out earlier, a pretty weak one. Bot lane has taken a bit of damage, but not really too much. Chris had an easy defense going there. This, on the other hand, really nice move, getting the cleanse out. That was important. Could have been a kill otherwise. But they let the camp slide for now. All right. 27 on the beef by now.
Forgive my stupid sentence, but have you noticed how Garrosh's talent lineup makes it look like 2 guys were trying to beat on one and he just hulked up and threw them both off him?
It's actually true, yeah. It feels like, you know, when you have like in any kind of like anime or whatever, like several guys ganking up on one and he's under
yes, exactly that.
And then he just like completely goes Super Saiyan mode and everybody just flies in direction. That's exactly what that looks like.
That's exactly what I was going for, as we do see Dayquaza finish off these mercenaries here. Chris and Breeze were thinking about going in, but they're good against Deathwing, but they're not amazing against Deathwing, and they're not going to take that risk.
28 stacks for Hazu. I'm still keeping my eye on Hazu because, again, as a mid-div player, it's always such a weird situation when you have a lot of stacks together and you want to save the shield for someone else, but you have to protect yourself too, or you risk losing those. If you lose the stacks when you're that deep in, you are in trouble because it's going to get harder and harder to complete the quest once that level 10 abilities are ready for the opponent. So Hazu's going to play this super careful, but the second objective is up, and since both of them are still super close in experience, you have to really bring your A game here. You don't want to lose any kind of momentum on that map, especially if you're washed up. You can't afford mistakes at this point anymore. You're already too far behind in the series.
Yeah, just keeping themselves in control as best as they can. Portal, they were looking for Poik. Dodge the Celestial Charge, though. Nice use of the Wind Fury. Ooh, Breeze missing his Groundbreaker after getting the toss onto Banana. H takes some damage in exchange and is forced to back away. Right now, Race is in favor of Washed Up, but they're finally, looks like, going to be forced into a team fight. But Last Dance really struggling to find their angle.
Yeah, they do, but, well, the problem is still that they lost the halftime show pretty much for free, and level 10 is going to come in for Washed Up now. This is, honestly, outside of them getting a quick kill, this is more or less unwinnable anymore. They shouldn't be able to do anything here, not with level 10 coming through. I doubt that they will make an honest attempt to win this once the level 10 abilities are in.
You see the focus onto the mercenary camps for both teams. Deathwing, currently the only person continuing the race. Just bursting through it as best he can as level 10 is hit almost simultaneously for both teams.
It's actually impressive. I really thought they would focus that a little bit more, so now they can still fight for it. Alright. My bad. Like, I really thought they would try and get this a little bit quicker, but no, it's a 10 versus 10, so there's still a chance to fight back in this situation, and they're pressuring them back a bit, and it actually allows Poik to finally get some stacks together. He's sitting at 11, so he's slowly getting there.
Yeah, and this is exactly the situation that Poik wants. He wants this long, drawn-out, delayed objective phase so that he can start burning through. Also, speaking of talents, we do see the ancestral healing coming in from the Rhaegar. So this is not a Bloodlust composition this time. They finally find Masquerade, Root, Boss Stun, Force of Will, Taunt, Cleanse, and Masquerade is out.
Really interesting setup now. We indeed have, as you said, the Ancestral. We got the stacks together slowly for Poik. He has more and more poke. This is perfect for him. He gets the poke in. He allows others to then finish what he started. Dayquaza alone is already starting to struggle on the HP side and has to fall back. But there's also pressure at the bottom of the map where the camp is currently pushing the fort. And if they don't send anybody down there, it's likely to, if not take it down, then at least do some serious damage over there.
Yeah, there's a charge, looking for more. Nano boost onto Poik. He's trying to charge forward. Leyline slows it down, but Eve is low, but he just finished Master's Touch. Time to feed.
Yeah, maybe not quite feed directly, but hell yeah. 15 stacks now for Thrall. So he is getting better and better on that account at least.
It's low.
Just trying to lock in a few more. They're nearly winning this. I mean, they're so close right now. And they got the bunker already on the ground. Here comes the action. Ancestral on Banana H as he self-Ancestrals. They're still trying to go for the play though. The Immortal is nearly eliminated. But of course, Washed Up is pushing at this point. Trying to go for Breeze once again as Garrosh falls low. And they're focusing on the Immortal to just clutch out another win. Barely able to take it, but they're locking in the second one. We are 10 minutes into the game, and we still haven't seen a single kill.
We haven't seen a single kill. We haven't seen a fort die. This is another basically non-existent shield immortal, but it's pushing into the exact same lane where the front walls are down, and this should finally be a fort to fall. Maybe we'll see a kill happen at the same time as Masquerade is looking a little aggressive.
Also on the damage output, Thrall is top damage in this game now. He is starting to get those stacks in, and it's not only about like adding the damage up. Once that you are completed with the quest, one of the biggest things about Trash Lightning is honestly that it prioritizes heroes afterwards, which makes it so much easier for you to stay at a distance and simply target something else with your first hit and then get the value from the bounces. So this is something that will help him so much once that he's able to complete it. But he's still a bit fouled. He's sitting at 17. That's good damage, but it's not enough just yet. But they keep poking. And Hazu has to commit to his ult in order to stay alive here.
And that's bad because he's already used Portal and suddenly Masquerade's in a lot of trouble. They nano boost for this. There's the Portal. But finally, first blood. They pressure Hasu to the point where he's used all his abilities and they're finally able to kill off Masquerade. And may we see the second kill in under a minute looking for Wubby. He's charging. He's alive.
No way. He didn't even have mana the entire time. Are you kidding me? Like, how is the kid always getting away there? That's insane. Wubby just moves out, has no mana, and then just in the last second, oh, by the way, I have still one left. Zip, moves out, and then Zelia comes from the top and is like, by the way, I got that healing dart for you if you want one.
Don't invest in killing Wubby. It's a scam. No, never actually delivers. So we're going to be seeing double up. It's a drop. We're going to be seeing the double up on Garrosh here. Breeze going for a little bit of extra tankiness. He has been hit quite a lot this game. Well, even while being able to tank it, he doesn't want to take that risk. As we see that mercenary camp cleaned up. In the meantime, Deathwing is cleaning out top lane.
One kill against 0. 1-4 down. Masquerade. The taunt, the shield. Medivh saving the day again with Portal and shield. There's the attempt with the Valkyrie to secure another kill, but that didn't work. Got the ley line back. 18 stacks still on the level 1 for Thrall. Again, he's 12 short, but once that he has it, he's going to have such a great time whenever there's an Immortal fight. Even if they just push with an Immortal, for example, he can just target structures and whittle the hit points of the defender slowly down.
New habits has been completed by Wubby, so he's going to be even harder to take down. So we see mercenaries traded out on both sides, just in time for the objective to spawn. Dayquaza shows himself, and Poik is just going to hit him.
And Chris is getting the damage in, and he has Exterminator, so he will be able to take this one down quickly, especially if they are setting up the defense here. Halftime show should be a win for them. Leyline, oh my god, that was a decent one, but it also shut down the Deathwing approach a little bit. Poik is incredibly low, but he attacks and he gets the nano boost in, and he gets mad damage and gets the bounce on Deathwing, who dies.
They go in one more time. They get Nick. No, Nick Ancestral here. He will stay alive, but it's going to be Wubby who falls here instead. Poik is kind of separated from the rest of his team. He's going to get a multi-man route to buy his team some time. Chris has given up on the objective and is coming here to help as they look for Nick. One more time. Portal down with a nice penetrating round. They get the kill, but Masquerade is able to back away. Health bars are basically non-existent for Zelia and Breeze. They'll be forced to back up as Chris goes for the race.
And the bot fort has fallen, so you gotta say, Washed Up is just doing a great job timing these camps over and over again with every single objective. Halftime show is more or less a 50-50. Fort at the bottom has been destroyed. Blue team is able to defend their top, but 3 kills against 1. And honestly, Last Dance's control over the portal just in that last encounter when they were able to take Kha'Zix down was absolutely incredible. Penetrating round, I mean, they put everything on the line here. But now this is finally the first objective. The first Immortal for Last Dance. It's the power of Jimmy, the power of Exterminator in these situations.
Wubby has finally cleaned out bot lane. So we see Chris moving up here. This is the most shield we have seen on an Immortal all game. And coincidentally, it's the last Dance's first Immortal. Bobby's on his way, but he's still a bit out here. This fort should fall. The question is, can they get more?
Yeah, especially stacks. 7 are missing for Thrall. Another 7 in E is Gucci. If he can get that, that would be such a huge tool in the arsenal for the future fights. Again, the engage as Deathwing is moving in. They need to be careful. There's the bunker, and he barely takes it. No, Thrall is down. Thrall is actually down, and Breeze is also about to fall. Both of them are in trouble. Well, one is dead already, so not in trouble anymore. Fort is down, and 16 versus 16. His trouble has ended for now.
Yeah, he's in trouble if by trouble you mean the ground. As we see the Immortal killed off, it did get the fort as we expected. But that kill onto Thrall is a big deal. He's 14 seconds out. And we're going to see Chris desperately trying to race down this camp. Only Imperius is on the way down, though, to counter it, so this won't be stolen. They will just be able to pick this up. But in exchange, Nick and Banana Rage will grab top lane.
Yeah, also, bottom of the map now. 1 camp taken, 2 kills against 3, 16 versus 16. Damage output, 43,000. Easy top damage for Thrall. And again, still not done with the quest. Now, of course, we still have to add it's poke damage mostly, right? And we see still getting quite a bit more also through the Ancestral Wrath alone against Deathwing and other heroes. That is absolutely perfect, putting Imperius under a little bit of pressure. But the poke damage through the Chain Lightning is great right now. And it will be much better when he completes the quest. And that is something that other heroes then can follow up on. So just poking them down and putting pressure onto the support is always kind of neat in a situation like this.
Breeze and Wubby. Just check. They move outside the base. Everyone else moves inside because, of course, if Breeze finds someone, they are going in that base.
And I gotta say, by the way, how the hell does Deathwing hide in an event like this in a bush? Like, that does not make any sense to me.
Magic, Nexus, Valkyrie, that's how. Poi gonna move away. As we see Wubby stunned out once again. He's trying to turn onto Masquerade, but Masquerade's so tanky and he's Angelic Armaments and not making it easy. Portal's down though, and you can see Breeze desperately trying to make a play here. Now he knows that big escape tool is gone.
Yeah. I'm a big-ass dragon, bigger than a building, but hey, if I stand into this little vent of steam right over here, nobody can see me.
I am invisible. I imagine Deathwing with the voice of Drax from Guardians. If I stand so still, I have mastered the art of invisibility.
We can't see you. No, you cannot.
I am in Steam. You cannot see me. Chris gonna hover at the Immortal for now. No invasion yet. They're just trying to dissuade while Wubby finishes clearing the lane, and they are successful doing so. And Robbie still continues to push up here.
26 stacks now. Well, and they're, of course, pushing this out. They're trying to poke. It's 17-17. This is such a close game. Honestly, this game is absolutely perfect for a third map right now. I have zero idea who's going to take this. I mean, forts are falling on both sides. Top lane gets pressured through the camp. Rhaegar's taking care of it now. But this is so clutch. Both teams are really bringing the A-game. It is incredibly close. Quest on 16 is once again completed, so now he gets the additional damage out. Another 4 stacks, and he's done with his level 1 quest too, which will allow him even more poke. But it is getting absolutely bonkers here. Just one good Valkyrie, one good engage, one good move is all that you need. A good combo. Breeze having a target, for example, or a leyline setup. I mean, the bird is there, cheating as usual the entire time.
Stun onto Nick, but he tanks it. Lightning Shield. We have the Earthen Shield here, of course, going with that to combine with the Ancestral Healing to give it the better chance of getting off. Deathwing walking his way in, flying unavailable because he was clearing the wave, so he has to walk here from over the wall. They catch Wubby, but he's dropped by terrain. New habits, and it's a full retreat. Here comes Deathwing with the Cataclysm. Earthquake is dropped to try and guarantee that full escape. Bunker is down. And everyone's out, and that was a lot of heroics blown on both sides. But Leyline is still here. Taunt is still here. Nano Boost is still here. The fight could still happen at any moment.
A lot of them, but not everybody went in the last fight. And a lot of the ults are therefore down, but still, we are having another push by Washed Up as they are looking for another Immortal on the map. And Breeze is moving in and he gets the flip and they're trying to go for it, but there's the shield and the portal is there. Nick survives, at least for now. The ley line already being used now too, but the blue team is once again on the move back. Breeze is trying to go for the Quasi, is trying to flip the dragon over, breaks his back and will from now on just roll around in a wheelchair. But we have the quest completed for Thrall, who gets the Trash Lightning completed. Now it's time for the real poke damage from Poik, and he is going to be in a great spot here.
The Nano Thrall melted through a lot of people there, but it's not enough to guarantee kills yet. It's doing good damage, but not enough to actually finish anyone off. As Breeze looks again for Nick. The cleanse has been on point, but it's not available this time. Does he have Taunt available? He does not. It was used in the last fight, as Nick will survive. Valkyrie hits no one, as Chris is kiting Dayquaza beautifully.
Dude, Poik is getting so much value out of this now. He is getting tons and tons of damage out of it. And he is just pretty much using his Q off cooldown here the entire time. 61,000 damage for him already. Cassia is starting to catch up a little bit, sitting at 55k. But things are definitely starting to become problematic for Washed Up if those fights are just stalled out and take a long time. So once again, here's the setup. They're trying to go for Masquerade. He needs to be careful here, but he gets the portal. But the taunt hits him first. He's still able to move through. But the blue team is losing more and more HP on their Immortal. Chris is coming in with these attack. Double stun from Masquerade, though. Can they follow it up? Death Ray comes in. The bunker on the ground again with a save. But then Trouble Dick is down, but so is Breeze.
Leyland comes out, though, going to completely separate the teams. Data boost has expired here as we see Wobby going to try and focus on to Banana Rage and cause a distraction. Is it going to be Raider who is picked off? Zalia's in trouble, and Dayquaza is causing way too much chaos in this backline. He's actually going to be turned on by Poik here. In the meantime, Wobby is leaving. And, well, Thunderstorm's restacked. Poik has a bit of more Nick and 2, though. And the active reload from Zalia, not enough to save the day. That's going to be a 3-for-1 in favor of Washed Up, who will finally move back onto the Immortal.
Yeah, and they also have nearly level 20 now, so that turned quickly. Poik got a bit too aggressive there towards the end, and now they're gonna look at a 40-50% Immortal, plus level 20 as they're pushing in for it. Washed Up might just have taken the opportunity to get such a big lead that they could roll over the keep and maybe even get more. I mean, the Immortal's gonna travel bot lane, and they have the tools to take the keep down, at the least.
We've got a good opportunity there. Catapult's going to start working on the keep. Zalia is not great at catapult clear. He's letting the lane push up as well so that he can, so they can soak this a little bit safer, and they don't have to worry about the lanes pushing in too far or anyone catching them out of position. Finally, though, we will see Washed Up show themselves in bot lane because they are now about to push.
Yeah, and we have the level 20 for Rhaegar. Farsia's Blessing, so the double Ancestral and the ally heal that we now have, which is pretty bananas. So we're gonna see if that's gonna play a big role in the fight here. Definitely a potential to change the team fight completely.
Yeah.
But here's the Immortal, already gets burned down quickly. Should be able to take at least the keep down. There's the flip, they're trying to go for the kill. And again, the Valkyrie not hitting anything. Deathwing going in deep for this one. The keep is getting low, but so is Dayquaza. Deathwing is actually losing a shit ton of hit points in this one. Holy hell.
The Geo did a lot of healing, a lot of shielding there for the team. Here comes the Impale, though. Breeze in trouble. Cataclysm is gonna come in one more time with the reset. As they look for it, they get Breeze. The Immortals onto the core. It's down to a third health as the core is being focused. Another double Impale. Poik makes it into base, but the core down to 67% already. And they're gonna try and retreat via the portal. But is it too late? 30% on the core. Another delay from Masquerade to prevent that Immortal going down. The Immortal will take out the core. And we have a series on our hands as Washed Up put themselves on the board.
They get the point, and we have a 2-1. So game number 4 coming up, everybody. No 3-0. Washed Up able to prevent it. Is that Imperious right now with like one win after another? It feels like every single time we have that bad boy on the team, he immediately increases the threat level there.
We're going to be finding out who will be the champion of Cup number 3. Both of these teams have won a cup each. So no matter what, dominance is about to be asserted heading in as we're heading into Infernal Shrines. Thank you to Charlie and Gravesville, a big caster in the community as well, both of them for their $25 donations as we are heading to Infernal Shrines.
Yeah, next game, map number 4, Infernal Shrines, and here we go. All right, Washed Up. They got the point on the board. 1 versus 2 right now in this best of 5 series, the grand final of weekly tournament number 3. Last dance with 2 dominate maps. Map number 1, map number 2, but struggling a little bit towards the late game on Battlefield of Eternity. Now that we're heading into Infernal Shrines, question of course is what happens around, well, first question has been answered. What happens around Medivh, who gets banned out immediately? Second question would be, is Imperious early picked? Is he maybe even banned here? Because it really seems like our boy and the reliable stuns that he brings out in those team fights, especially of course spanning out multiple heroes at the same time, plays a massive role in the outcome of these games.
See the grey main banned out, so Imperius has been let through. But remember, this is the last dance, so do they prioritize maybe the Urel over the Imperius here?
I mean, you can on the ban pattern. It's actually going to be interesting if you can go for the picks. I don't really think that Breeze would mind playing a game with Imperius in the main tank role either. But yes, Wubi's Urel obviously terrifying, and I think that's exactly what the team is thinking about right now. They ban out Rhaegar, leave the rest up, but this could easily be an early Rel pick, as we've seen previously from Last Dance.
Yeah. But it now leaves the Imperius over to Washed Up for either Dayquaza or Masquerade. Either one could play it. Like you said, it could be the offlane or it could be the main tank. So they've given themselves that flexibility. Or perhaps the ETC might be more their speed. Johanna also still available. And of course, Ana. Ana and Li Ming both still available if they wanted to go down that classic route.
Yeah, but Li Ming is always a bit weird on Infernal Shrines. I mean, not unheard of, but not really the insta-pick normally. But they get the Ana. You can still, of course, combo it over with Jaina, Gul'dan if you want. I mean,
Kael'thas
even. Yeah, it's not really a massive pick in the higher level Heroes of the Storm play. But we see him occasionally, so there's the option. Of course, you could still also play the Li Ming, but again, on Infernal Shrines, is not as common of a pick as on other maps. But ETC is in play. Now, that leaves us still with some pretty insane picks for Last Dance. And first of all, Falstad gets played early on because Chris is just saying, hey, they're banning my boy the entire time. I need the bird back. So he gets the bird, and Breeze gets Johanna. That's a lot of wave clear already on the board for them. And pretty solid setup. It's pretty much right down the alley, right?
Yeah. They've given themselves a good amount of wave clear, great amount of front-facing tankiness, and some good interrupts for Mosh Pit. So far, this is just a safe and very secure draft by the Last Dance.
Deckard Cain gets banned. I mean, heavy focus now on supports, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So we still have Zelia. Zelia, he's been playing Karazim. We could still see him with Malfurion, for example. Stukov is another one that he played, which would also work with the setup that they're rocking here. So I don't really think they're going to fall short in options anytime soon, but you ban out the Rhaegar because of the Bloodlust, obviously, the potential combo. And Deckard Cain has really good control over the choke points in this one. That's another one I want to get rid of. And there's the Cassia ban against Nick now.
That's
Cassia
fair.
Made it into a ban spot.
Yeah, it was in the bans in the first games of the day, and then it made it through, and now it's back in the bans again, and we can see why. Valkyrie, pretty good ability. Having a ranged assassin with an engage ability is quite nice. The only other one really we talk about these days is Hanzo, in terms of a hard engage ability on a ranged assassin. So we're going to see Deathwing make his way in, and you already mentioned, they're not going to go Li Ming this time, they're leaning towards the Jaina.
Yep, Jaina in for the nano boost. Okay, so we definitely know what's happening there. We get ETC also for the initial stun. Can even follow up on a good sleep dot, just to name another example. But with the last two picks, Last Dance has the chance to set themselves up here. What's going to be the support in the first place? We already mentioned a few that they could take. They go for Kael'thas, and they go for Lucio. All right. Lucio's in, and Kael'thas. So we got Gravity Labs. We got a couple of CC tools for sure.
And they have the potential for burned flesh if they want some percentage damage.
And the last pick. Our wild card as usual. What is
it Kira? This is a good bet for Kerrigan. What are we seeing here? I wouldn't mind Kira because that is some good deadly potential to try and deal with Kael'thas. Not going to happen though. We're going to stick with Reyna. Someone who's going to benefit from the slows they want to go ace, and if not, someone who's going to help them clear those shrines.
Jimmy is in, and that rounds the draft out. So yeah, stage is set. Game number 4, ladies and gentlemen. Infernal Shrines washed up against Last Dance. Yeah, let's see if the series ends here or if the reverse sweep continues. A potential reverse sweep, at least, as Washed Up is trying to bring this to game number 5.
So we're going to be preparing to load into Infernal Shrines, ladies and gentlemen. We are only $116 away from hitting that 5,000 before we even head into the game. So if we can keep that going, would love to see if we can hit that 5,000 during the game. Thank you all, everyone, so much for donating to Cure Rare Disease. If you want to find out more about Cure Rare Diseases and the amazing work they do, !charity, and you can find the details on that page as well as how to donate. Now, this could, again, I said it last game though, so I might be wrong. This could be the last game of the day, as we are loading into Infernal Shrines. And there's a lot of comfort picks here. I'm really happy we're seeing a Lucio coming in for the Last Dance, because we know how insane Zalia is on it, so I'm actually kind of glad we're seeing that jump in.
Yeah, I also really want to see the Kelthas plays because, again, it
Yes.
is not really a regular pick by any means. He picked also Pyroblast the last time. I talked about with him a little
Oh,
bit about it,
yeah.
but we can talk about that later. We are going to head into the game, lady. Game number 4. Infernal Shrines is coming up, so well, let's see if they can clutch it out and crown themselves the victor once again. As we are on the 4th map of the series. Infernal Shrines on the left side. It is washed up, going up against Last Dance here. And time to shine. We got the Deathwing in play once again. This time a Jaina and Jimmy setup for the blue team. Whereas over to the right side, it seems like Last Dance is going to try and weave us a little Song of Ice and Fire as they are countering Jaina with Kelthas in this game.
Cool idea, which means more steam to hide Deathwing. No, not really. Azalea is dead. Wow. Well, okay then.
Okay. Yeah, I know that he's fast on Lucio, but he can disappear this quickly. I didn't realize that. So yeah, good job.
Speed running death, getting to that very fast.
He has the big advantage of playing Lucio. You can run it down mid even faster than normal.
Is that faster than Quacktick's on fast start against Dahaka?
That's a good question. I mean, maybe they're trying to set a new record here. Who knows?
Oh, well.
Okay.
2 kills.
That's
okay.
1, that's 2, and Zalia's already got care. Probably should leave here.
Washed up,
Not really
messing
good
around,
stuff,
dude. Just rushing in, 2 kills already. They're looking for this reverse sweep. As we see them, just Lucio's trying to annoy him. Zalia really trying to disrupt, but he's just putting himself in a little bit of danger here. Finally, they're going to move on and begin working on their counter mercenaries. And Falstad, well, he's going to join them, but he has to come from base because he died.
Also, another thing, Ace in the Hole is a level 1 talent for Jimmy, so it's actually back. Again, we saw the nerf on Exterminator, which was also very much so needed in the last patch, and therefore Ace in the Hole is back to business on at least this map. So depending on the situation, we will see it a little bit more now. There's obviously also a lot of slows available, and Jaina alone just supplying them. But 2 kills against 0, so good start into the early game for Washed Up. But of course, early game kills not really all that impactful. Helps you with a bit of control. And amongst other things, it allowed Washed Up to go for the second camp at the bottom of the map. So at least something. But
Nick.
Trying to go for Nick, but he survives.
He survives, and that was a good engagement because that was before his level 4, so he didn't have the armor. He was able to activate his healing, but did not have that armor available. But he was able to survive. Pulled back with the help of Anna with the heals. Now they're going to begin making their way up and start working on those fallen shamans.
Yeah, the first objective popping up in the middle of the map. Gravity Lapse is now in. I mean, again, killing the bird early on, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're all of a sudden walking away with a massive lead in experience or anything, but one of the things that it definitely does guarantee is that it's a little bit more tricky for Falstad to get his stacks together. So if you can get him killed a few times, especially as the death time has increased, it will make it harder for him to get to a significant amount of stacks in the late game. And we've seen Chris actually with incredible stacks earlier on. So if they can just shut that down a bit, that would be great for them. Objective gets announced, 10 more seconds left, and both teams, of course, with the shamans on the map now.
Breeze and Chris cleaning up again. Chris is going to be looking to stack up as fast as possible. Up to 5 already. He may even be late to his objective if he chooses to keep farming off to the side. Looks like he is going to come in here, though, and make this the 4v4 as Deathwing and Yarel to duel up in top lane. Slight advantage for the Last Dance at the beginning of this.
Yeah, they take a bit of a lead here on the objective, and they kind of need to now too. Quasar is again moving in with his Deathwing. And here comes the kill against Chris once again. 10 hit points initially, and then Jaina moves in for the final hit. Locks it in, 20 to 9 stacks, but it seems like there could be a follow-up kill against Breeze too. Quasar is jumping in deep. And honestly, I feel at this point, Last Dance is just realizing that this is going to be a little bit tougher as they probably expected after the first 2 maps. So all of a sudden, we have Washed Up really gaining momentum in this series. They haven't really won the first objective yet, but they're looking so much better in this 3rd and 4th game than in the first 2.
That was nice, though. Really fantastic gank onto Hasu, picking up that kill. But there is the objective going over to Washed Up. Good boot from Lucio, going to get everyone out of there. Although Zalia and Wobby, a low speed boost will get them out of danger. And everyone makes it behind the wall as Kael'thas goes down to soak some experience. They pull it over the wall, and they'll clear this out nice and quickly.
Yeah, so it's of course a little bit slowed down what we're seeing, simply because Jaina isn't here, so they can't commit as heavily to the push as they would normally like to. Still, this is a good setup, taking the wall down, getting the initial start, and even denying the Punisher just to the opponent is of course already worth a lot. So they are in a decent spot still. 3 kills to 1, slightly ahead in experience, a little bit more structural damage, but Last Dance is at least able to find their rhythm a little bit at this point.
Zaylia continuing to do Lucio things, just continuing to be incredibly annoying and interrupting rotations and trying to prevent anyone from getting good positioning, as Breeze, on mounted up in the middle lane, doesn't want to go for any risk of being caught out of position here. He's just able to retreat back, and right now Yorel is uncontested in that top lane, so she's grabbing quite a bit of XP, and as such, Last Dance, despite losing that objective, are getting a very minor XP lead. It's currently a bit more than it should be due to the fact that XP globes were not picked up in top lane, and Deathwing will get quite a few of those, but quite a few also expired.
Yeah, exactly, and that was mainly because Urel actually slowed him down. So Whoopi blocked him as much as he could just to make sure that some XP will be lost to them. So we started all of this with a small lead in experience for Washed Up, but now it actually turned against them, and that is mainly because Whoopi made these rotations so quickly and then slowed down the rotation on the other side. So that was actually incredibly well played here by them. And it's something that we've seen in HGC over and over again, right? These small advantages that you're trying to edge out. Of course, having EXP globes now makes for a few more sloppy rotations, or at least it makes it possible. But you can still try and set these plays up, and that's what we just saw. Interestingly enough, we see Jaina also holding back her ult. I mean, it should be a water elemental again. We don't really see that much wombo combo setups anymore with Ring of Frost, and water elemental on 20 is just absolutely nuts.
Oh,
but get the ring, they go for it. I like it.
Yeah, Ring, Mosh, Hyperion, and Cataclysm here. They have the option. They have the potential, as they're just going to bully Dequaza here, do quite a bit of damage to him. But he's fine. He tanks through it, able to set himself up there. He's gone for the upgrade on his heroic, by the way. Burn beneath my shadow. No bellowing roar here. And Kael'thas, who delayed for quite a while, going for some wave clear and some team fight as opposed to single target burst. He's going to pick up that Phoenix this time.
I'm really curious to see how the ring works out for them. I mean, it's always fun to see, right? But water element is just so strong. And the problem is there is Gust available. They have the ult of Lucio. There's also a Blessed Shield that could interrupt potential combos. There's a lot of tools that can be used to limit the value that you will get out of that potential combo setup. So you could ruin the day for them. But of course, if a combo like this works out, it always looks fantastic. And that's what we're looking for now.
Kael'thas has completed his transition from Mana Enthusiast to Mana Addict, finishing out that quest at level 1. And we're going to see the Mercenary picked up from the Last Dance, a little bit further back, a little bit more delayed, which means it will maybe to be able to defend against Washed Ups under tower.
Yeah, so off we go. At this point, even talents, both on level 10. Arcane Punisher is the next one to fight over. ETC completes his quest before the Shrine. I mean, that's perfect timing for him. Doesn't get any better than that, honestly. And here we go. Even still, at least for now, Zaylia already getting moved in. Nick needs to be careful. Nick needs to be very careful. Blessed Shield is already out. They're trying to go for the kill. Nick! And Nicky gets away. But everybody else is also low, and the ring didn't really do enough for them here.
Zaylia's beginning to heal him up, but he needs more. He needs more healing. We're even going to see Johanna Breeze move back to the fountain. Chris may have to do the same. He's going to barrel roll away 28 to 24 as Wubby jumps back in. Here comes Breeze to try and set up for Poik, who's sieging from outside here. But Dequaza is bodying, really trying to set up the delay here. And it looks like they're going to back up. 39 to 28. Washed Up will win a second objective as Fingers of Frost is completed for Jaina.
Get the second objective now, can be baited over again. 17 stacks for Falstad. Here's the bait, the immediate attempt at burning it down as quickly as they possibly can. Deathwing in the meantime has moved into the middle and now needs to rotate topside to take the Shaman camp down. But he also jumps in here with his Rel, still totally fine. The early level 13 for them, and still no fort falling. They are able to hold on to it, at least for now. But again, more and more control, I would say. It's just like a much crisper play that we're now seeing from Washed Up. It just feels like things are falling in place for them just a bit better, but they have to still be careful, because if you give just one opportunity over to Last Dance, they'll take it. They nearly took this one against Nick. It was a bit out, lost half his HP, but was saved then by his rotating teammates.
Chris just continuing to stack up right now. He's already looking pretty good here with 20 stacks. Gonna need a lot more, though, if he's going to be able to take down that Deathwing. He does finally have Giant Killer, though, which will help him out. CTC, scouts that currently no one's doing bottom camp, and will meet up with Breeze in the bot lane as Dayquaza is getting ganked.
Yeah, and Chris is, of course, now getting serious damage.
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that Giant Killer is really helping him. And he, immediately after getting the talent, he started to rotate topside a bit, and was like, okay, I'm just going to say hello for a second. And that just chunked, absolutely chunked Deathwing down.
That was an ambitious kickoff by Zalia there, unable to steal the camp, but the attempt was made. We now also have Ignite coming in. Sorry, that's Pyromania coming in for Poik, so he's going to be able to siege it even further and more consistently.
It's actually kind of real memey if you're like a big-ass dragon and you just have a parrot coming in and trying to completely body you. It's like, I don't know.
I am Death, the destroyer of... Ow, stop that. As Wubby's going to be retreating here, takes a bit of damage, is able to just jump away, no trouble. Polly wants you dead, sucker. As we're going to see Zalia harassing Masquerade.
Polly's going to kill you.
Zalia continues to annoy Masquerade, slowing down his rotation with that with that reverse amp. Nicely done.
Yeah, 25 stacks now, by the way, for Polly. So we have 15 versus 15. It's like the last map. Like it's really clutch. It's really close, and it's time for the next objective. I want to see the next big team fight between them because that's where the fireworks really explode. But of course, if Breeze can lock someone down even before that, yeah, they were trying. Masquerade immediately was like, oh, mistakes were made. I need to get out of here.
Let's see the lanes just being clear. That both teams are just delaying, waiting for their opportunity, waiting for 16, more importantly. Next objective going to be announced relatively soon. And it's a question of who can make the play onto the point, because this will likely end up being a full team fight, with Falstad and Deathwing joining in this time. With heroics all available, nothing's been burned. This could be very chaotic, and both teams will have that level 16, and they're going to pick up those mercenaries.
Yeah, exactly. And there we have it already for Falstad, so he goes in with the Afterburner again. We also got Ignite now, so that's going to help a lot. And we have Paint Them Red for Jimmy, another fantastic talent together with the Northern Exposure for Jaina. Yeah, and it's party time. So both teams now with the Shaman camp, but it's time for the Shrine to activate again, and everybody's moving straight into the middle here, as we already have the Flame Strike exploding. Slowly but steadily, the Living Bombs are spreading. Nice move also by Wubby, spreads it over to Hazo even, and they are starting to establish the position on the Shrine itself. We go for the Frozen Punisher this time. Good Gravity Lapse coming out now too, as they're trying to lock them down to set this up, but they appear in, gets used by Nick right away.
But that's 2 heroics burned out. Phoenix going to be used as well to try and keep control without them actually having to step onto the point. Very sensible here. They get a good amount, 22 to 18 right now as they find ETC. Big stuns onto him, but Nick with that active reload keeps him alive. Dayquaza was down to target. Chris has been slightly isolated as we have seen the sound barrier already used.
Yeah, also the bird is actually... Oh, the ring only connected with Kel'Thas, but immediately Chris is trying to move in. They're trying to go for the kill. He goes immediately for the gust. They go for Hazu, and Jaina is dead, and it looks like the dragon is gonna fall too. Dayquaza might actually be able to get away here. Lucio runs him down, quite literally. That's 2 kills for the red team, but the Punisher has again been taken by Washed Up. Time and time again, they win the objective, but they're starting to lose heroes, and they're actually about to lose another one.
I am Death, destroyer of worlds, and I hate Riven. As we see the Punisher being cleared out, they grab ETC with the rotation, and they're gonna lose. Actually, they might not lose this spot, as the Punisher's been baited. They send Lucio away. It's gonna be close. Minions with the bait here. I think they might save this.
Yeah, they should. Yeah, they're definitely going to do exactly that. But 4 kills against 3 in the staggered death against ETC. Not full. Actually, I thought it would be a little bit more decisive on the fort, but
Fort's gonna die.
They are actually going to take this down.
Oh, it got baited by the minions.
Wow.
Are you kidding me? It's got 128 health.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, let's be honest. It's going to fall in a second.
Yeah.
They're going to push the minion wave out, and then they're going to take it apart, but that's going to be the first fort that actually falls here. It's kind of funny that if you look at the minimap, you see so much pressure on the red team structures, but at the same time, they are now a level ahead of their opponent. So they are gaining momentum here. And also, let's talk quickly about Chris. 36 stacks, meaning for the next objective, he will have his activatable ready. And that's going to matter when he focuses down on Deathwing. So he has a lot of kill potential then against him.
It's actually quite slow for him, honestly, but he's still going to get it, like you say, as they focus onto Nick here. Easy kill. And this is what they're trying to do here, getting massive damage. But Zalia pops like a friggin' balloon as they're looking for Poik there. Bless you for the turnaround, though. Jada is deleted here as Banana Rage, one more kill. Trying to run him down. He has fanaticism. It's the speed boost. He's going for Banana Rage and will pick up another kill. How can he get out?
Yeah, Granny nearly ran away from Breeze, but not today. Johanna just a little bit too nimble on the feet here with the fanaticism. So what turned... Like, initially the idea was actually really cool. The kill against Nick was a bit upsetting. Then they turned it with a Ring of Frost against Lucio. And it looked really good. It was just like, oh my god, they just saved it. They got the counter kill. And then they lose 2 more heroes in the process. So that backfired really quickly. What could have been a single loss on their end turned into 3. And that's nearly 20 now for Last Dance. So they have super early Storm Talents. The quest is completed for Falstad. There's tons of map control now in the hands of Last Dance.
I do just want to draw attention to Breeze there. As I said, the speed boost. He was actually Anna was actually betrayed by her own keep there. As the fort. The fort dropped 2 autos onto Breeze, which gave him 16% bonus movement speed due to fanaticism, which is just enough to catch up with Anna and pick up that kill. As level 20 is hit, this is starting to look good for Last Dance to maybe close out the series, but the objective hasn't been announced yet. There's still time for Washed Up to soak 20 themselves.
They should be able to get a fort or 2, though. They have Radiating Faith now. They have also the Flamethrower. That alone is great for Poik. I mean, it will give him even more survivability. The fort at the bottom of the map is already down. Chris is taking that apart easy peasy. He, of course, gets now also more and more stacks in. Went for the Wind Tunnel once more. And they should be able to push through the middle if they want to. But, of course, with the Shrine being announced, they also need to go top right and quickly take their own Shaman camp. At least... from the perspective of Washed Up, they will have level 20. Fort is still hasn't been taken down yet.
It's still alive. It's being held up by the dreams of Last Dance as they're just imagining it hasn't fallen down. So we see them move in. They activate the objective, going to get their head start. But here is 20. 4 Washed Up, just ticking in right now. So they're finally going to begin to make their move. Deathwing is on the ground, not in the sky, but he does have Cataclysm. He's going to wait for his moment to engage. Remember, this is Burn Beneath My Shadow, which is going to drop right in. Upgraded Cataclysm onto Poik. Looks for the kill, but Poik, Matarite, going to attack his way through as Hasselhoff is focused by Wobby and forced to retreat.
Yeah, and Dequaza a little bit alone. There needs to be careful because, again, Chris gets all the percentage damaging against him, so careful, baby. 28 stacks now against 19. It seems like Washed Up is just falling away from it and saying, like, all right, this isn't happening. Instead, they're moving into the middle to finally take this one down.
Why did Masquerade need to go there? He had the meteor. That was risky.
Yeah, but the bottom Mortar Punisher has now been claimed, and this is going to be an attempt to take the keep down. So, gotta be careful with this one. Again, this could change the game. Topside also has been defended. There were the 2 camps that were pushing against each other, but with the Shaman camp still being in play for Last Dance, this could even be an annihilation of the top fort.
Zoning Hyperion is dropped. Every heroic is available except for Hyperion, which was just used, and Phoenix, which is back in 10 seconds. Wobby looks for Nick. He is the target. Here comes Burn Beneath My Shadow, which was reset due to that middle fort dying, and Wobby is forced to retreat. Speedy race car Johanna is going to fanaticism her way out of here as Deathwing is dropped low by Chris. Nicely done. A keep is dropping quite down. There's the Wind Tunnel to try and buy them enough time to finish off that keep. It wasn't a full engage here. It was just for time, and it will succeed.
Yeah, the keep is down. That's not the only thing. The 4 topside has also fallen, as already mentioned. So this is 7 kills against 4. We are 18 minutes in, and they are also taking the fort in the middle. So this one objective was able to take them 3 major structures. So they are taking a massive lead now all of a sudden on the macro level. And that's fantastic for them. Now, again, one good team fight can turn this. But they have now way more options, especially, of course, with the bird.
Gonna try and soak this out right now. It's all about for Washed Up, just clearing out the lanes, removing catapult pressure in that bottom lane, especially. Whereas Last Dance, they are very happy just to wait this out now and wait for the next objective, and at least for their heroics to come off cooldown, which they are all about to do, and see if they can maybe set a trap. For now, they are in full control. They just need to choose something to do, because right now, there's very little they can do to buy time. They just have to actually make a decision and do it.
And what they're doing is, like, So Last Dance is actually shutting Vision down. They're taking all of the walls apart whenever they can. They're also double checking every single bush, as you can see here. They don't want to fall into a trap. So they have more than enough tools to just double check the entire time. Breeze is coming in with the flashlight. We have Poig with all the range there. Just look at the damage that he's pushing out against Deathwing. It's honestly nuts. We have him at 43,000 damage now in total. Falstad has started to take the second highest damage for the team with 27k. He was incredibly low the entire time because, as you should, he focused heavily on siege damage. He just pushed the lanes out so that he gets more stacks also for his level 1 talent. So he's sitting at 152,000 siege damage, but now towards the later stages, he gets these auto attacks in.
Nick is just cleaning up as best he can. Masquerade dealing with the catapults here, with that hammer on, helping out quite a lot here. And yeah, both teams just waiting for the objective here. Last Dance clearing up Vision. And Washed Up, well, they're just waiting to see if they can grab someone. If they can get a good multi-person engage, they do have that mosh pit, they do have Bolts of Storm to set up mosh pit, and they have Cold Snap for the Jaina here.
Yeah, for the cooldown reduction. But the problem is really that with the objective spawning topside, Falstad has so much control of the bottom of the map. And you can actually see him on the minimap just sitting at the camp, because what he's going to try and do is just line this up as best as he can. So I would actually not be surprised if he waits this out, if he doesn't take it immediately. And exactly, he's trying to time that. He's timing it with the objective. He's going to try and push through the bot lane even further and delay his fly up towards the top so that he can potentially pressure the core already. With 21 minutes on the board, that actually means that catapults on the core are really dangerous here. It's not exactly Winion territory just yet, but if you are able to set a couple of catapults up there, you're in a great spot. And the problem is, the fort at the bot lane on the red team side has not been destroyed. So it's continuous catapult pressure against nothing.
Yeah, it's going to be a 2 catapult mercenary camp push into that bottom lane where there is no reaction. Living Bomb from the Flamethrower did catch Hasu here. Going to be healed up slowly by Banana H. Quasar loses his armor plate to minions here, so down 1 more. Positioning is taken by the Last Dance as they begin to catch up.
This is a horrible spot for Washed Up. I mean, they take so much damage. Look at Deathwing, gets poiked down, literally. As we have one Kelthas move after another coming in, and there's even more coming now. Quasar himself is trying to make the engage happen, but of course he gets turned on right away, and that's a huge problem. That's the Ring of Frost and a great cleanse as we're coming out. Also, the sound barrier is through. Bot lane gets attacked. The shield is falling. The shield's falling. The core is taking damage. They are losing on all fronts right now. That's a double catapult, and it is murdering the HP here.
Core's going down. They're going to send Quasar back. He's porting. 1 flamethrower will stop him. He's going to try and turn it. That might be a mistake here. Quasar's in trouble. Core is getting deleted. Minions are on the way. Falstad is going to just do the sensible decision. Just fly to the core. Game. That is game.
That's game, ladies and gentlemen. The Winion time on map number 4 as Last Dance wins the tournament against Washed Up with a 3-1 victory.
That means that the Last Dance have won 2 out of 3 of our weekly cups here at Method Mayhem. And Washed Up have only won 1. But there's still the monthly final, which I think is pretty safe to say, that both these teams are probably in it. If not, in the finals of it. We'll find that out eventually. But either way, what a performance from both these teams. Washed Up, signs of life in those last 2 games. But the first 2, Last Dance, absolutely dominant.
Yeah, and last one here, again, you can't really move away from that position without sacrificing the Punisher. So you're in a spot where it's just like, how do you play this? Do you just try and YOLO the fight, hope that you win it, and then defend? But the second that the lane appears down there, you have a problem. Honestly, Deathwing just needed to probably stay a little bit longer down at the bottom of the map, but hindsight is always 20/20. But the play was just perfect. You have the top shrine, you have the bottom control to Falstad, and that's why they're drafting Falstad the entire time. He controls the lane, he gives them the wave clear, he has a single target damage then later on in the game with the auto attack stacks on level 1. They played it really well on the macro level, and that was a well-deserved victory there, let's be honest.
Couldn't agree more. That was absolutely insane. Beautiful job by the Last Dance. And this has just made me even more excited for the monthly final cup, which will be coming up next week. Washed Up in the first week looked incredibly strong. And on the other side, we saw the Last Dance able to put on a really solid performance in cup number 2. And this cup was Last Dance again, looking very strong. And ladies and gentlemen, we just saw $250 donated by
damn.
KC Calamist. Thank you so much. That is a huge donation.
Awesome.
And that easily tips us over our $5,000 here. $5,134 for Cure Rare Diseases. Thank you so much for all of your generosity, people in the chat, for your subscriptions to contribute towards that prize pool to try and match that $2,350 that Method put in to begin with. And thank you everyone for following Method. You've donated for children, you've donated for heroes, you have donated for this community and for kindness. Thank you so much, everyone who has been watching.
Yeah, big shout out there. Thank you very much for that. And yeah, as you said, that puts us easily over the 5K, which we thought we could reach today, and we definitely have now. So again, big shout out to our top donor right there now. But yeah, great games today. Fantastic setup. And again, this is the last weekly cup. Next week, we have the grand final, which is going to be a 2-day event as well, guys. So make sure that you mark that down on your calendar because it's going to be good.
And we have several incredible teams in those monthly finals. We're going to be seeing Washed Up again. We're going to be seeing The Last Dance. We're going to be expecting to see teams like Reformed Players, Som Sietchi, Swedish House Mafia, and so many more. I don't know how many teams are in the finals because I did not look before this. That was silly of me. But this should be an intense monthly final here. And I'm so excited to be doing it with you, dude.
No, it's going to be really good, especially with the 2-day event. You can focus on, like way more matches. We always talked about how we missed a couple of the important games that were going on. Now you can cover a lot more of that. So that's always amazing. And with the setup that we have right now, and especially those teams that are coming back with players that are now just like testing the waters here again, it's going to be really, really cool to see that, especially since with 2 days, you just have more time to explore all of the games.
Yeah, it's been amazing to see all the players back, like you say. It's been amazing to see the current stalwarts, the guardians of the scene, like Washed Up and like Lolba's fan club, still holding strong in some of those top positions. Honestly, this has been an absolute blast. I really hope everyone at home has been enjoying it. Let Method know if you have, !socials in the chat, to let them know how you feel about what they're doing for the Heroes of the Storm scene. We just saw another donation coming in here, another $50 from Steady Nub. Thank you, he says, and thank you, Steady Nub, for your donation to Cure Rare Diseases.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. And again, guys, also follow Method on Twitter @Method. Check them out over there, !socials in the chat if you want to have all of them listed there. Instagram, of course, as well. Just name another example.
That will also keep you up to date on all the information you need on the monthly final so that you can be there where we are and find out who will be the first Method Mayhem champion. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching. This has been an absolute blast. We hope to see you next week. So remember, Tuesday night is Heroes Night on Method for Method Mayhem, the monthly final coming up next week. Carol, any final words from you?
Nope, just excited for the grand final, to be honest. Or, well, for the monthly final after all what we've seen so far.
Alrighty, thank you all very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and we will catch you next time for more Method Mayhem. See you all next week.